bars in a raid. Man, I go hard like Santan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Fight Card. Today we've got two polar opposites here today. To be fair, you know, on the left hand side we've got Kopend Fracas. Chris, I'm going to start with you. How are you doing?
It's been a long week, man. I'm tired, but you know, had to find time to put it out the schedule. Take on the Touchy Gooners this evening. So yeah, man, let's get stuck into it.
And on the other end of the Kopend, you know, we've got Julian. Julian, how you doing?
I'm relaxed, man. This is my favorite fight card. You see, this is my third fight card because it just seems to be an easy W each time. So I'm happy to join for another what's going to prove to be another easy W. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I love doing these fight cards. Light work.
Fair enough. And then the way and we go over to the Touchy Gooners. And Shab, I'm going to start with you. How are you doing?
Man, you know me, man. I'm good. I like that Julian's come spicy already, you know. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I like it. Liverpool off the L's as well, but yeah, man.
Nah, no spice, just facts. No spice.
We'll get into it, but yeah, man, I'm good, man. You know, can't complain.
Good to hear. And on the other end, we've got Mr. Dan Cooks. Cooks, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. All right, no complaints, my side. You know, sipping on some Elo and ginger ale. You know, it's going to be a good evening. You get me?
I respect it. I'm a bit sad that I don't have mine here to hand, you know, but we move anyway. So let's get right into it. So you know, we look at the two sides, and I'm going to start with you guys on the Touchy Unit side. So interesting enough, Arsenal actually currently have the second best home record. You know, you guys are currently, I believe, unbeaten in 10. You know, you guys have quite a good record going on. So, Kuz, I'm going to come over to you. What's been the secret behind this? What's going on?
I think with respect to the home record, you know, I think we're probably one of the teams alongside Liverpool that miss fans the most. I think in all the sort of banter periods that people have tried to, you know, say that we've gone through, our home form has actually been quite stellar. Wenger's last season, I think we had joint second best home record. Emery's season, it was joint second or third best home record. And then, you know, once fans went away, I think last season is the most losses we've had at home. You know, since, you know, records began, you're going back to like the 30s to try and find out us losing that many games. So I think the fans being back is a major plus point for Arsenal. I've been going to the games as well. The atmosphere has been going off this season. I think fans are, you know, they're happy to be back. They're getting behind the team. And then obviously some of the new signings that we've signed, I think they've done a lot better than what the Touchy Gooners and a lot of the fan base predicted as well. You know, Ramsdale, Ben White, Tavares, Lokonga. I think they've Tomiyasu as well. I think they've made a big difference into the way that we're playing. And really and truly, since they've all come into the side, we've gone unbeaten. So you know, I think there's a few bits and pieces that we can be positive about. On the Touchy Gooners podcast yesterday, we touched on that, but you know, we had some feedback that we're not quite all the way positive yet, because we think there are some steps to go. But right now, you know, things are looking okay.
Very well put there. Very well put there. And Shab, I'm going to come over to you. I remember we had an early conversation, you know, following the Arsenal v Chelsea game, where you know you expressed your displeasure about and your worry, you know, about Benjamin White. You know, I just want to come over to you. How pivotal has he been to Arsenal's current unbeaten record? And are you feeling as though you've been proven wrong as of yet?
Nah, definitely his performances from the start of the season have improved. It's not really the start of the season. It's that first game, really, which left everyone a bit concerned about, you know, dropping 50 M's on this brother, and this is what he's turning out. But he's been sturdy. You know, he's been sturdy, and I think it's a combination of factors. I think his individual performances have been good, but you know, I think his partner also has been flying low under the radar, just, you know, making light work of almost everything that's come his way and been sturdy. Ben White has stood out, but we can see that there's a solid partnership there that he's got with Gabriel, and then Ramsdale as well has had some impact. definitely some positive impact there. So, you know, I think the whole defense on a whole is ticking. So I give Ben White some credit, definitely. But yeah, the defense is definitely singing the song at the moment.
I respect it. And I'm going to come over to you, Julian. How are you feeling, watching the Arsenal? Do you think Benjamin White and the rest of the Arsenal Gooners, do you think the defense can hold you guys out?
Oh, absolutely not. I look at Arsenal's most recent weeks of games, and they've got a nice little cute unbeaten run there. The little boys in North London, they've been doing their thing. But I've seen some of the teams that they've played, that they've won against, and bar Leicester, who this season have been quite unimpressive. Nothing really inspiring there. I've seen that they've
seen some of the teams you've lost against, man. Like
My dad.
Oh, sorry. Some of the teams you've won against. Sorry, my apologies.
No, I'm saying we've seen some of the teams you've lost against.
Lost one game.
Yeah, we've lost one game, and that's nice. But that's
yes.
Yeah, like we've lost one game.
I'll let you finish, Julian. But
sorry, man. Yeah, while I was interrupted there. So yeah, man. I see Arsenal, nice little cute unbeaten run they're on. It definitely ends this Sunday. Back to reality. Well, I'm sure they, these
playing
boys
on Saturday, bro. Look, this Julian brother. Yo, are you all right?
Research.
Let Julian cook. Keep
Wait, the game's on Saturday, no?
Yeah, it is on Saturday.
Okay, cool. So this Saturday, these boys will have their little run in, and I'm sure they're smart gentlemen. They know what reality is like. They know that they're not going to win at Anfield. The most they can probably hope for is a draw, and I don't personally see that happening. So yeah, man, not really fussed by Arsenal, to be honest. Not really phased. It's going to be easy 3 points, and we just move to the next one for us. Just another game.
Fair enough. And Coos, I believe you said you had a point wanted to make.
Yeah, it's just interesting because, like, just looking at Liverpool's form, I think you've only won 2 games at home all season. You conceded, 2 goals to Brighton, 2 goals at Man City. The other games that 3 goals against Brentford, I believe, as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about our unbeaten run and the defense is okay, this, that, and the other, but our defense is looking better than yours. We've only actually had our first choice defense for the past 8 games. So we've only conceded 4 goals. So I don't understand why you're talking down so much on our defense when it's looking much sturdier than yours.
That's a fair point. That it's looked a lot sturdier than yours, than ours. Sorry, but it still doesn't. It still doesn't fill me with enough confidence to feel like Mane, Salah, and Jota. It looks like that's going to be the front three. It's not going to be able to score or cause problems at home at our own ground. So yeah, man. Sorry, I don't think that's really gonna frighten me. And you think, oh wow, our front three that's won us the Premier League and Champions League, and is amongst the top scorers in the world and has one of the best player in the world is going to be stopped.
Fair enough. Obviously, I can't help but not come to you, Christian. I'm going to come over to you with another point. So we look at you guys' last 2 games before the international break. The draw 2-2 against Brighton and the 3-2 loss against West Ham. How do you feel that you guys can react to those 2 results? Because obviously, following on from the draw, you would have expected you guys to come a lot stronger against West Ham. But do you think it's going to be 3 in a row, or do you think this is going to be the time where you guys really change your luck?
Never going to be 3 in a row. Never that. 5:30, Anfield, under the lights. There's only one way this goes. And it's Liverpool, 3 points in the bag. There's only one way it goes.
Nice and sweet. So I'm going to come over to you, the Touchy Gooners, to give your thoughts on how Liverpool started the season. A lot has been said about their defense. Van Dijk, his return, how impactful he will be, whether he will come back the same as he was when he was initially in Liverpool team. So, Kuz, how have you felt that Liverpool have fared this season as of yet?
Yeah, I think going forward, Julian made some good points about the strength of their attack. Going forward, I think Salah, in the form of his life, he's looking like 17-18 season again, on fire, probably the best player in the league. So you can't really knock them. for that. I think they scored the most goals, taken the most shots, etc. So going forward, I think they're ticking along, as you would expect a Klopp side to do. But I think defensively and in midfield, the injuries are really sort of pamming them. You've seen it against West Ham, against Brentford, and against Brighton. Like I said, I think in the duels, their midfield have sort of struggled. Jordan Henderson, Mr. Reliable, he's not really been playing too well. Andy Robertson has basically been in terrible form this season. I think if you're looking at the TL, a lot of Liverpool fans are calling for Tsimikas to start instead of him. Give Robertson some time out the side. And Van Dijk, he's not looking like the Van Dijk of old, which is no knock to him because obviously 31 years of age, after coming off an ACL, you're not expecting him to be the same sort of player. So if you're seeing that the goals they're conceding, number of goals they're conceding, they're not looking as sturdy as they were sort of 2 seasons ago when they got 99 points, I think it was, or something like that, right? So I think Liverpool have shown this season that they can be got at. Long balls. Ivan Toney was having a lot of joy against them. What's his name? That new centre mid that they bought, that Brighton bought, was having a good time against Liverpool's. And no, not Onyeka, for Brighton. I can't remember his name.
Mwepu.
Yeah, and Mwepu. He had a great game against Liverpool. So did Bissouma, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I feel like this Liverpool is probably a Liverpool that we might have some luck against, depending on the amount of personality we show on the day, how brave we are, and whether or not we're able to take the game to them. So their attack is scary. It's always going to be scary, but I think there is something in this game for us, depending on the type of performance we can pull out.
Fair enough. And Christian, I'm going to go over to you. How have you felt Arsenal started this season? Cougs mentioned the fact that they didn't exactly have their strongest starting 11 to start the season, and with them having a stronger team, going on from now, they've had obviously a good reign of form. Do you think that's a bit of a purple patch, or do you think that's just the true Arsenal coming to true colours?
And true Arsenal reveals itself on Saturday. That's for sure. I think it's easy to have a purple patch when you're playing, Norwich, Burnley, Watford. You can have a purple patch then because those are the games, you're supposed to win. I mean, albeit they did win those games 1-0. 1-0 against Norwich. I mean, considering we've seen what teams have done to them, I mean, you'll know what they've done to themselves. But Babs, going up against them, Chelsea, seeing what you did to them. So, you see what proper teams do to clubs like that. So, I mean, considering how Arsenal started the season, where I think, Cougs and Shabs can agree that they were looking for blood at every single opportunity, considering how the season started. How it's ended up for them has been really good. Looking like they're back on track. Obviously, no European football will help with that in terms of getting the Arteta way down. But yeah, man, Saturday 5:30, it ends.
Damn, Silky Chris Johnson, the biggest hater around. I commend you for that. When Shabs, I saw you have a little bit of a slight smile there. Do you disagree with what Chris just said? Have you been more impressed with your start this season, or do you think you're more in line with what Chris just said over there?
No, I think Chris is being cute, man. He knows what he's doing, but Chris is glossing over his own issues. Do you know what I mean? So it's cute. I like it. I like what's going on there, but yeah, man, I'm tired of rapping with this one. I just want to get into it, to be honest with you.
Damn. Comment here from Nathan just now. Last time Arsenal won at Anfield, you had Nike instead of Adidas. Deep how long that is. I'm going to come over to you, Julian.
That Puma logo. 2 logos since.
Damn. I'm going to come over to you, Julian. So you've just said there's absolutely no chance that Arsenal are going to have that win on Saturday. So why do you think that is? What do you think Liverpool have in their Arsenal that will really bring it into this Arsenal unbeaten streak?
Well, let me give them a bit of respect. I'll be like 5%. They could sneak a draw. That's the most that they could hope for if they come to Anfield. And we've let's be honest. If I'm gonna get on to Liverpool for a bit, I can criticize our big game performances at Anfield this season. It has been great. Man City 2-2, Chelsea That was 1-1. I can't even remember. My head's blanked. Yeah, Chelsea 1-1. So our performances in the big games at Anfield haven't been great. We could get the United 5-0 as one of our saving graces. But the thing is with Arsenal, I just don't think they have enough to cause us problems. Like, if you look at the teams that have caused us problems, Brighton are the most similar, in my opinion, to Arsenal in terms of them trying to keep the ball, keep possession, not exactly rely on physicality. They rely on their technical ability, and they broke us down really well. But most teams, like I would say, especially Brentford, use their physicality a lot. You mentioned the centre mid, Ivan Toney being able to cause Van Dijk a lot of problems. West Ham as well, as we saw in our last game, we were getting absolutely Antonio was actually having a ball against us, taking us out of position. But I don't think Arsenal have that in their locker. They don't really have a physical forward like an Ivan Toney and Antonio to cause Van Dijk problems. Technically, I think they are great with the likes of Saka and North Smith-Rowe, especially kicking on this season. In midfield, it's still a mixed bag in terms of technical ability and PMP. Like, they have Partey and Lokonga there who've looked okay so far. Looks well. Actually, to be fair, they looked good when I saw them against Leicester and I saw them against Watford. They looked all right. But at Liverpool, at Anfield, it's a different story. We've seen Arsenal at Anfield and how you can get easily, like, it's not just Arsenal. Anyone can get lost in the Anfield lights, especially at 5:30 on a Saturday when the Scousers have had a drink, they've been partying all day, and they're just ready for a football match at the end of the day. So yeah, man. If we're talking football, honestly, like, all agendas and all jokes aside, I don't feel like Arsenal have enough in their locker to actually beat us. A draw is what they'll most likely hope for, and I'm sure Shabs and Dan will agree that it'll be wishful thinking for them to come and think that they're going to get a W at Anfield. So yeah, man, we just have to be on our game because we haven't, to be honest, this season, especially leading up to this result, we haven't been great. We haven't put a man to complain. I don't know, maybe he could. We have, that's good because we have a plethora of centre backs there to fill in. We have Kanate to fill in, we have Matip to fill in. So I'm confident with either way that if they play, we'll be okay. And yeah, we just have to be on ball. Our midfield has been a problem for us this season, especially. I think Fabinho will be back. Henderson. I mean, I don't watch England internationals, but I saw that he got on the scoreline for England. So maybe, especially as we're playing Arsenal, this would be a more open game where he'll have less to do defensively and more to do offensively and play that box to box role. Thiago, God knows what he's going to be on if he's actually going to play, but I would hope he does get an appearance. And yeah, I just think we have enough to just beat these guys, man. They're not enough for me to be scared when they come to Anfield. I'm sorry, it's just not happening.
I hear it. And Shabs, I saw you made a couple of faces. I'm going to ask you a more direct question. So, do you think Liverpool are currently title contenders still? And if even just that, but do you think they're title favourites?
Nah, definitely not title favourites. Nah, I think people are fancying City. I think there are things that you can't argue with, like Salah being in the form of his life. Absolutely. Generally, you know what you're going to get out of their attack. But they've been, and Trent. Yeah. Oh, yeah, their boy Trent. He's a special talent, isn't he? But
Mane too. Don't forget Mane. He's been slapping goals this season.
I'm not going through naming and listing everyone.
Hey, man, when you've got a world-class team that claps goals in every direction, in every way,
relax,
you just have to speak about it, man. I'm sorry.
That's not what this is about. But there's cracks, man. Like you said, your midfield hasn't been impressive. You're not sure about the reliability and the consistency there. Defensively, you lot are looking shaky. I've seen Van Dijk get spun a few times already this season. Already just there, just stressing out at his defensive partner. That's been an issue as well for him in terms of consistency of a defensive partner, a centre-back partner for him. So, I think the best combinations have been Joe Gomez and him, but that doesn't look to be a thing right now. Might have died a slow death. So I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of spicy talk. I understand, you know, you lot have been in the ascendancy, but like, don't come with this heavy talk. Don't come with this heavy talk. Forget
I think as well
where you come from. Don't forget that Liverpool been
Babs,
baby.
Babs, can I ask you a question? Babs, can I ask you a question, please? When was the last time? Babs, can I ask you a question, please? Babs, can I ask you a question, please? When was the last time you guys won at Anfield?
2012.
2012. How old is you then, Babs?
Wait. That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
Hey, don't worry about it, man. Records.
How old is you guys?
Records. The thing is, Julian, yeah, records.
Was you skanking in uni? Was you skanking in uni? Like, you're talking about
records go every day.
You're talking about like us not being scared. Why would we be scared of you guys? Like, what have you?
Look. Let me just say this.
One time at Bandcamp. Beautiful.
Let me just say this. Last season, yeah, we hadn't won at Old Trafford in 14 years. We won there convincingly. Last season, we hadn't won at Stamford Bridge in 9 years. We won there convincingly. Like, records go every day, B. That's what you're relying on.
I mean, in all fairness, we pulled up to Old Trafford with Reece Williams and Nat Phillips in defence, and we won 4-2. So
yeah, but it doesn't look. The thing is, we've gone to Old Trafford when they've been playing Tyler Blackett and whatnot. We couldn't get the dub there. Yeah, so let me tell you, records.
Who are the managers you up against, Dan?
Records go every day. Records go every day.
Who are the managers?
We beat Tuchel. It was Tuchel last season when we beat them.
Was it? Are you sure?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, no, I did my research. Don't worry, man. We beat them home and away last season. Yeah.
No worries.
So the thing is, I think as well, just one thing to add to that, I think Alisson's form has been affected by the centre backs as well. You know, coming up for crosses and you know, sort of the command of his area, I think has been quite shaky this season. From set pieces, you've been kind of susceptible. So I think he's sort of feeling a fallout of, you know, that Van Dijk lack of confidence, I would say, as well. So, you know, it's definitely one to watch. And I think, Julian, I'm not going to be like too dismissive of like you puffing out your chest, speaking your chest and stuff like that, because obviously it's a good record that you have against us, especially under Klopp at Anfield. So I get it. But all I'm saying is, like, let's take it easy, yeah, because it's not. I don't think it's as foregone a conclusion as you think it might be, basically.
No, trust me. As a Liverpool fan, we know we're winning. So I don't know. Maybe it's because you're an Arsenal fan and you don't like understand how it feels to be in this position right now, where you're a big dog in the game, a heavyweight, and you know, as you said. I said right now. Relax, Chad, yeah. You're going to talk about 04 when Graham was still a thing.
No, Julian. But the thing is, 11 games.
Dan,
2021. 2021. You're 2 points ahead of us. Yeah. So let's wind your neck in.
Oh, you Arsenal fans love that league, innit? We're in 2021.
I'm talking right now.
One Premier League ever in the history of the competition. Calm yourself down, bro. Like,
we're better than you lot. That's why I can talk like this. I'm sorry, man.
All I'm saying is,
it is what it is.
Right now.
We're better than you lot.
Guys, come on, guys. Let's keep it chill.
The thing is, yeah, I'm not even getting rattled or anything like this, yeah. But all I'm saying is, right now, there's 2 points between us, yeah. So all of this talk about what happened previously and this, that, and the other, and last season it was only 6 points in the table, yeah, Julian. So all of this talk about we're much better than you, this, that, and the other, the table's not lying. We went 2 months without winning a game last season. It was only 6 points, yeah.
We went a whole season with nearly a whole season.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, yeah? Like, let's wind your neck in. The fact you had no centre-backs means nothing to me. It's squad. It's just football, yeah? You didn't refresh your squad. Your manager decided to play play midfielder centre-back. That's not my problem, yeah? You're bragging about at the end of 38 games, it was 6 point difference, yeah? And right now, it's a 2 point difference. So all of this talk about you're much better than this, you're much better than that, I'm saying let's talk about reality and not what you think is happening in your head.
Okay, yeah? Let's talk about reality now. You're bragging about finishing 6 points behind a team that had no centre backs.
I'm not bragging about anything. I'm not bragging about anything.
Top draw. You know, you guys finished 6 points behind a team that had no centre backs for the majority of the season.
I think you missed
none of the centre backs that started last season. Well, I think you missed my point. You lot at your stadium is even in the squad nowadays, and you're bragging about behind us.
I'm learning Klopp, man. I'm learning Klopp.
You need to save him, Chris.
Sad state of affairs.
He's gonna bring you down, bro. I'm
That's
telling
what
you.
I'm saying.
You've got a chance to save
I
him.
think you missed my point, Julian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
because
you
my
missed his
point
point.
was how bad we were last season. Right, we went 2 months without winning a match in this Premier League, and you could only finish 6 points ahead of us. That's not me bragging. Yeah, that's
And Dan-
me bringing you down to the level.
And Dan, we also went practically a whole season with none of our senior centre backs. So what you losing for you not winning for 2 months doesn't make
squad
a
management. It's squad management. It's squad management.
Well done to your squad management. You finished 6 points behind a team that had practically no centre backs for the whole of the season. None of the centre backs that started.
So why are you only 2 points ahead of us now? After we lost our first 3 games.
Hey man, we'll see.
As well.
But at the end of the day, we'll see. But at the end of the day, I still have belief in my squad. We still
Your
got
centre backs.
football.
Your centre backs are back now. We
Yeah.
lost our first 3
Julian, I wanted
games.
to ask
The
that
goal
question,
difference
actually.
of
Go on.
minus.
That's a good point.
Go on.
Your centre backs are back now. Yeah, Julian.
Mhm.
We lost our first 3 games in the league without scoring a goal, and now you're only 2 points ahead of us. So talk to me about that.
Oh,
Well, you had a nice run of games where you played basically not great teams, and you capitalized off it. Well done. You beat teams that you were supposed to beat, bar maybe Leicester, who for some reason are better than you right now. Well done. Do you want a cookie? Do you want a medal? You drew.
No, I said talk to me about your team.
That's what happened.
Not
Dan.
about-
That's what happened. Dan. You won against teams that you were supposed to win against, bar maybe Leicester, and you drew against Brighton and Crystal Palace.
did you win against the teams that you're supposed to win against?
Not all the time. No. Not all the time. No. Not all the time. No. But you won in context. But Shab, you won in context to why you're 2 points behind us.
It's you that's doing the talk. Do you know what? It's
You are.
that's doing the
I'm
talking.
asking you a question.
No.
You
it's
are.
you that's doing the
Shab,
talking.
brother,
About,
you guys
Liverpool.
asked why
You
you're
must
2
not
points
know.
behind us.
Brother,
Well done. You
Are you
beat
gonna
teams
speak when-
that
are you
you're
gonna
supposed
ask
to
me
beat
questions
and drew
when
against
you
teams
speak
that
when
you're
I'm
supposed to beat.
Are you
Like,
gonna ask me questions and then speak when I'm speaking? I know we're not playing that game. I know we're not doing that. You just ask me something. Go on, answer it then. Answer for me.
sorry, I got muted. I don't know what the question was. There was no question. The question was,
Please, Shabs, go for it, please. Go
Oh,
for it.
gosh,
Thank you, sir. All day in the court, please. Yeah. So yeah, you were hyping up about where Liverpool are now. My kind dear brother Dan over there said you're 2 points ahead of us. Is that what you're hyping up about? You're onto us saying that we're singing and dancing. We're not.
Okay, I'm hyping up that we're better than you in every
teams,
okay.
beating teams that we should have beaten. Have you beat the teams that you should have beaten?
Yes.
All right then. Next question, please.
Yeah. I'm 2 points ahead of
You
you.
need to rotate this to Christian. He's bringing the side down. I'm telling you, he's making you not look bad.
How? You guys are bragging about being 2 points behind the team.
No one's bragging, bro. No one's bragging, bro.
The Kopend
No one's
boys are
bragging, bro.
watching you right now, man. Come on, man. You gotta get better representation than this. Come
Right,
on.
let's keep
Stay
going.
composed, Julian. Stay
So
composed.
let's
Come on,
talk
man.
managers
Told
now.
you
You know,
that's
so
all love, bro. It's all love.
let's talk managers. So obviously, you know, a lot of questions have been asked of Arteta coming to this season. This season being the one where people are saying, let's judge him off this season. You know, he's got his signings. He's had a full season of preseason. No more excuses. He's got his players. Let's keep it going. Krish, has Arteta turned the leaf?
I still don't even know what style of football this man wants to play, so I can only say no. I'd gladly give the floor to Touchy Gooners counterparts to fill me in on this pause, but I mean, yeah, it's looking a bit spooky. I can tell you what type of football Graham Potter wants to play. I can even tell you what the Wolves manager wants to play football-wise, but with Mr. Arteta, I still can't tell you. But yeah, man, he's beating the teams that he's supposed to beat this year. But let's not open that kind of worms yet again when we got off track.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, on the flip side, Krish, so with the way, you know, you guys have started the season, you know, I've seen you guys have a couple potential injuries coming up the international break. Do you think Klopp can inspire this Liverpool team to another title? Oh,
absolutely. I think the big thing with Klopp is it's all about the journey. You know what I mean? It's all about that togetherness as a team. And the culture at the football club has never been better. Everyone knows they need to pitch in. It's a long season. It's a long road, whether it be Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup. FA Cup less so than the other two, of course.
Yeah, you guys don't really like the cups, do you?
No, but he's very. The man doesn't even show up to the pre-match press conferences. He sends his young man to go and do that. You know
That's
what I mean?
That's a proper football manager move right there.
You know what I mean?
Send the assistant.
Sends the assistant
Wow.
aggressive mode every single time. I'm only sending someone so I don't get fined. But yeah, I mean, there's some tactical tweaks he's done this season. Some of them he's had to do with personnel. But yeah, the squad of players is good enough to win a league first and foremost. They've been there. They know the way to get there, and they've got guys. Mi amigo. That's pretty funny, man. Yeah, I can't even. Yeah, I can't even.
Nathan is killing me in the comments, man. He's absolutely killing me, bro.
The Matip one was pretty funny as well. But yeah, man, he's got these players knowing what the journey is and how they need to get there, and it's up to them to just execute it and stick to the plan, really. So yeah.
Fair enough. And I'm going to come over to you, Cook. I know I've seen you a couple of times talk about how you think City and Liverpool are the two best sides in the nation. I'm going to come over to you. Do you think this Liverpool side, the way they are right now, the way they played, as you mentioned them earlier this evening, do you think there's title favourites as we go to the season?
Yeah, so we discussed this on the cross-platform podcast that we did. So everyone listening, make sure you go sign up to.
It was a good
Patreon
listen, by
and
the
tune
way.
in.
Really good listen.
Tune into all of that. Yeah, I think Liverpool, first 11-wise, they're probably the best team. I love watching them. I think the way that they try and play football is the right way. In the sense that they take lots of shots, they have lots of threat. And they put you under duress until they score. And there's lots of ways of them scoring goals now. I think their threat is probably the most diverse in the league as well. So you got the attacking fullbacks, you got the wingers, you got Firmino that drops into the hole, Thiago, now there, Fabinho there who can play passes through the middle, etc. They're great on set pieces as well. So I respect Liverpool, but I think it's the squad depth now that's going to hold them back. When you compare them to the likes of Man City, the likes of Chelsea, that all three of these teams are going to be competing on basically two fronts for the whole season. Liverpool never seem to really take the cups too seriously, but it's the Champions League and the Premier League. And I think, as you've seen with the injuries so far, they don't really have that strength and depth to keep that challenge going for the 9 months. I think in the 2 years where they did go basically the length of the season, all of their key players were fit and firing for those 2 years when they got, I think, 97 and 99 points. They had no injuries, long-term injuries to any key players. And what you're seeing this season, Mane had a knock. I think he's going to be fit for the game, but he was questionable. Jordan Henderson's been picking up so many knocks here and there. Firmino in and out of the team. Fabinho, he can be quite injury prone at times. And then basically with Van Dijk not being in the best form, you've got Gomez, who is, he's got glass bones. Matip's got glass bones. Konate, he's come in and, his injury record is not the best. So, we'll wait and see how long it takes before he breaks down as well. Alisson, I think for a goalkeeper, he has a lot of injuries as well. They're always talking about Kelleher, always talking about Adrian coming in. So I think injuries is going to be the thing that holds Liverpool back. And I think with the injuries, the defence is where it's felt the most. And I think Chelsea's defence, being the way that it is set up at the moment, I can't really look past them for the title. I think Man City will be the closest to run. So either one of those teams win the league, I won't be surprised, because those two teams just concede the least goals and they can win games 1-0. So I don't think Liverpool are capable right now of winning that many games 1-0. So I have to put them third favourites right now.
Fair enough. And let's get into the next section of the show. I like to call this inevitable Liverpool. We look at the last 5 games that has been played at Anfield between the two sides. I'm just looking at it now. 3-1, 3-1, 5-1, 4-0, 3-1. That's 18 goals scored in the last 5 games to Arsenal's 4 goals. Shabs, what can be done to save this dear record? Like what must Arteta do come Saturday night to get these boys ready to go to war at Anfield under the lights, you know, because we all know what it's like, you know, playing at Anfield in the evening, man. It's not exactly the best of nights for the away side.
I don't think Arteta needs to do a great deal more than what he's been doing as far as our defensive performances go. I don't think so. I think there's been a sturdiness, and people, the short-termists, will say, "Oh yeah, that sturdiness has come, you know, following the first 3 games this season." Actually, there's been a reliability and a consistency to the team going back to, you know, the turn of the year, really, and the back end of last season. So I think on that front, it's all right. It's going to be a tough day coming up against Salah, but I think there are things now which mean that we're better equipped to deal with Liverpool's attacks than we have done at any point in the last 3 years, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's it. It will be an acid test. I'm not going to sit here in front about that. Like, it will be an acid test, but yeah, man, I'm not coming into it with like the trepidation of the Emery days, or you know what I mean. Like, it's a different vibe for me coming into this game, to be honest with you. So yeah, man.
So the thing about acid,
acid
is it burns, and that's what's going to happen.
I like Chris's one-liners, man. I like it.
Yeah.
Kopend Fracas every Wednesday morning. Tune in.
Yeah, I do love that show, Chris. So keep it up.
Could never miss a pitch. Yeah, man. That's it.
Fair enough. And I'm Chris, you know, after hearing those last 5 games, you know, a minimum of 3 goals scored on your end, how reassuring must that feel, knowing that it seems that you guys have Arsenal's number at Anfield?
It's such a weird turn of events, considering games against Arsenal when growing up. It was usually the flip side. Used to keep Arsenal's attack quiet, whilst ours was, you know, quietly the one kind of going away. So it's definitely is reassuring. And no doubt about it, the guys all know they have to turn up Saturday evening, keeping, you know, the attacking prowess that we have going. And I do agree with what Shab's there. It will be a real test of their steel and their metal in their back setup. Because I mean, they're back 5, back 4.
Say it again. They're
back 5, back 4.
I guess it's 5 if you're including Ramsdale, I guess.
Ramsdale,
Yeah. It don't matter anyway. Because, you know, Mane, Salah, Jota, Bobby, they've been turned up this season. I mean, Firmino has been on some unreal form. It's even shocked me. His biggest fan. It's been something else. And of course, you know, you got Trent orchestrating stuff from right back as well. So yeah, hoping, you know, knowing that run will keep up on the weekend. So yeah, man, just looking forward to the game now. So this really got me excited about the game now. You know, this 5 cards. It's the energy that you get, man. It's the energy that you get.
It's the energy you get, and I'm sure the energy at 5:30 on the Discord is gonna be popping. So guys, make sure you sign to the Discord and head over there for the match chat, because boys, it's gonna get nasty. But yeah, I'm gonna come over to you, Julian. So looking ahead at just ahead of that, you know, we look at the key players, you know, coming to the season for both clubs. You know, Emile Smith Rowe for Arsenal, 4 goals, 2 assists in the last 11 games. You know, Mohamed Salah, 11 games, 10 goals, 7 assists. Some say the best player in the world. Some say better than Neymar. You know, who do you think will have more of the impact on the game come Saturday night?
Oh, what, between Salah and Emile Smith Rowe?
I didn't start.
I mean, is that your question?
No, it's a very serious question.
Okay. Salah? I guess. No, I'm joking. But no, Emile Smith Rowe, Croydon De Bruyne, I really like him. I really like the intensity that he's brought to Arsenal, which I definitely feel like was missing from that joke of a guy, Pepe, who should definitely be running on the bench, because talents like Emile Smith Rowe should not be sitting on the bench for someone like Pepe. But I love Emile Smith Rowe and what he's brought to Arsenal going forward. Saka as well hasn't had the a more highlighting season than hasn't had a more highlights in his season than Emile Smith Rowe, but he's still quality. Aubameyang, we've seen him at Anfield quite a few times, and he's not really had the best games. I remember there was one game where he like skied over the bar when he was like right in front of the goal. He can possibly find pockets, and luckily, you know, Arsenal now, they're not so heavily relying on him being on the wing, trying to, you know, get a goal. They have a lot to create. So we definitely have to be watching, our fullbacks definitely have to be on job during the game, because, yeah, those two boys, Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka, they're an unknown quantity, an unknown entity, sorry, I would say, especially with Saka playing on the left now, and Emile Smith-Rowe being on the right. It'll be different for our fullbacks to take on. I'm surprised about Odegaard. I don't really know how he'll be deployed in that number 10 role. It might be Odegaard, it might be Lacazette. These the Touchy Gooners words can tell me who would be most likely to start. But Odegaard in that number 10 position, I think he's a very talented player. I don't know what he can do yet, because I'm yet to see it really manifest in the Premier League. So that'll be a big test for him as well, because I think this will probably be his first big game as a full Arsenal player. So that'll be interesting to see. Tavares at left back. I've seen him bomb down the wing over the last couple of weeks, and man, he looks like someone that's gonna offer a lot down that left. Tomiyasu, the lockdown defender that Arsenal fans love. Big test for him. He'll be up against Mane, who's not an easy guy to play against, both physically, speed-wise, and at times he can give you a run for your money when he actually is on the ball. So that'll be a big test for him as well. So yeah, and Ramsdale, you know, the New England international. I like him. He's very confident, but as we've all said throughout the whole of this episode, the Anfield atmosphere is different. I mean, it's all good saying Leicester, with Leicester, where they're telling you you're not going to play for England, you play for them a few weeks later. Like, congrats to him, that was sick. But Anfield, man, you won't even be able to hear yourself think. So that will be a big test for Arsenal. So yeah, man, and for us as well. So it'll be a lot of unknown quantities. We'll see what happens, but I'm very confident in the win. Sorry, Babs, can I get those results again, please? Those last 5 results at Anfield.
Of course you can. So it was 3-1, 3-1, 5-1, 4-1, and 3-1. And it got scored of 18 goals to 4.
Right, and I just want to remind you guys, with those results, you're asking why I'm so confident. Thank you.
Very well put. And Shabs, we're going to come over to you. Do you agree with Julian there? Are ESR and Saka unknown entities? And do you agree with Julian that Salah will have the bigger impact on the game, or do you think the young Emile Smith-Rowe can have just as big, if not a bigger impact, come Saturday evening?
I think Salah definitely has the reputation. You know, what we're not going to do is get into I'm not going to get into slinging mud about who's got the bigger reputation or who's the better player right now, man. That's not a debate, man. Salah is Salah. But ESR, man, don't discount that boy. Julia's definitely, you know, stood up and at least respected, and I got no issue with you here, brother. He's at least respected our young ballers. Do you know what I mean? And ESR and Saka can definitely have an impact on the game. We know that where Liverpool have been gotten at is their fullbacks, really, where they've been targeted in behind their fullbacks, especially on Trent's side. That's where ESR plays. We know when ESR turns up, he turns up. He doesn't come to play. He's put many a man on ice, really. And defensively, that's not what Trent gets all the ratings and plaudits for. You know what I mean? It's never really been that part of his game. Yeah, he might have had some decent defensive performances throughout the course of his career. Of course he has. But it's not his strong point. It's not something which people rant and rave about, really. So for me, he's there to be gotten at. And he can be gotten at, quite simply. And Saka as well. Again, like Julian's given me, not even the ammo. Julian's just said what it is that's needed to be said. He hasn't had the highlights that ESR has had so far this season, but you cannot discount this boy. You know, technically, we all know what he can do with the ball, but for me, it's about his game intelligence, you know, and it's the maturity that he plays with at his young age. So, again, I'm always going to have time for Saka. I'm always going to kind of count him in terms of what he's capable of doing, you know. And lots of it will depend on which way the game goes. You know, I'm not saying that we're going to go there, we're going to be dominant, blah, 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 blah. What I'm saying is I think it will be different. I think fair enough, you can look at what recent history says. But I think this time we're looking at something slightly different.
Fair enough, fair enough. And you know, obviously, I know you Arsenal fans, you love us since when table, you know, since Christ was last on earth, since Pablo Escobar was still having the streets on lock, and you know, another one came out, you know, midweek. I'm sure we've all seen it. So since Emil Smith Rowe came to the Arsenal senior team, only Manchester United 86 points and Chelsea 68 points have accumulated more points than Arsenal 67. So that's kind of where the question came in. So I'm going to come over to you, Ku. So just how big of an impact has ESR had on your side, and how good has it been to see him, you know, come into his own this season, especially?
Yeah, you know, I think it does. It's a testament to his quality, you know, and I think the 3-0 at the Emirates last season, where Liverpool beat us, that was one of the few games since he came into the side that he actually didn't play or start. He had a knock that day, and I think, you know, his game intelligence and his ability to position himself in spaces where he's keeping the defender either pushed back or dragging the defender out of space or running in behind is very, very key. And I think the fact that, you know, the difference that we're seeing with him now versus last season, previously, he's spoken about his diet, he's spoken about his physicality. And I think that what we're seeing now is probably still only like 60% of Smith Rowe for me. Because I think once he, you know, properly develops some muscle, once he, you know, has that full confidence in his body, because he's had a lot of injuries since he first broke into the Arsenal team. I think you're going to see a lot more. So, like, obviously, I don't know if you might have seen Touchy Gooners been going back and forth with other Chelsea fans, you know, about debates about, you know, comparisons with their players, this, that, and the other.
Smith Rowe's better, by the way.
Yeah, that's Julian knows ball sometimes, man. He's not talking about Liverpool in it. So, but I think one thing that's really stood out about Smith Rowe is his ball carries and his dribbling stats this season. You know, so even when Arsenal aren't playing particularly well, he is always an out ball. He's able to beat people from times. He's able to carry the ball. He's able to get us up the pitch. And obviously his P&P has come on leaps and bounds, you know. So you've seen a lot of the goals that he scored, the goal against Aston Villa, the goal against the assist against Spurs, where he's literally leading defenders in his dust, and that's an underrated aspect of his game. I think Jamie Carragher said, you know, with the ball at his feet, he's the best player in the league. I wouldn't go that far, and I'm not co-signing that, but that's the sort of praise that he's getting off back of his performances, you know. So, you know, I was having a lot of debates with people in the summer, people saying, you know, when Aston Villa were making those bids, like, 35 million would do it, or 45 million, why would Arsenal not accept this? You know, like, this guy, he's just a mid guy, you know what I mean? That's good money, you can go out and get someone better. And I think now people are seeing what this guy's capable of, his arrival in the box to finish, his timing of his runs, you know, the power that he's running with, the ball at his feet. I think it's quite clear now why, you know, Arsenal never entertained anything to do with selling this guy. So, you know, I think that's definitely one to watch. And also on the Saka point as well, I think Saka's definitely going under the radar with his performances. I think Saka, when he's playing right wing, you will struggle to find someone who performs as consistently as he does, especially at his age. So, you know, obviously you've got Salah there. You've got the likes of Rafinha, who's putting in numbers this season. You've got Mahrez there. But, you know, outside of these guys, I really think Saka is probably, you know, pushing to be included alongside, probably not Salah, because of the form that he's in. You're talking, you know, Ballon d'Or contenders there, but I think you're pushing to find, you know, better right wingers in this division than Bukayo Saka. I think whenever this guy's playing right wing, he gives you a 7 or 8 out of 10, even if he doesn't get a goal or an assist. You know, he's impacting the game, and I think you saw it against San Marino. Obviously, it's San Marino, but I think of the performers for England that day, I think Saka's the best. you know, and he's playing alongside Kane. He's playing alongside Bellingham. He's playing alongside, you know, Smith Rowe played that day as well, but he's playing alongside Foden. You know, and I think Saka is the one that stood out in terms of attacking performance on that day. You know, so you know, I think that this guy's potential is through the roof, and I don't think it's going to get recognised until he starts adding goals and assists to his game. But I'm really big on Saka.
Very, very well put together there. Very well eloquently put there. And before we go to the combined level, I'm going to come over to you, Chris. So I've just, you know, mentioned, you know, the points, you know, telling, you know, the table since, you know how the Arsenal like to do. So how much do you put into that being down to ESR's effect? And do you think it's solely that, or do you think it's a bit more? What do you think? What do you think about that table?
It's a weird one, obviously, to nail it down just to the ESR effect. Kind of agree with what the guys have said there. He's, you know, ever since he has become like a first team regular, he has been, you know, the impact he has had is incredible. I think someone said he's sneaky quick as well. You know, like sneaky white man athleticism that you do get there. The gentrified P&P, as I like to call it sometimes.
You know them white youths that chill with black youths in school? He's definitely one of them. You know them
there's another guy, County Athletics, yeah? There's one white guy turning up for the 100 metres. You're like, what's this guy doing?
One white youth, you're like, right, this white youth's fast, man. You're getting knocked out, he's with you. Like, yeah, he's there, man.
Dave Smith Rowe. But yeah, man, he's a really good baller. I thought it was incredibly cheeky what Villa were trying to do in the summer. Proper nasty business. So, you know, I can only assume that the guys are happy that Dean Smith's gone because he was probably the one trying to facilitate that. So, yeah, man. But no, I mean, I think a lot of it for Arsenal has come down just to kind of shaping stuff, really. You can see they are a lot better defensively kind of towards the end of last season and from now into this season as well. And the one thing that they've done quite well within this run, and I think helps teams a lot, is get 1-0 wins. Clean sheets, accumulating clean sheets, and getting that confidence, you know, to obviously kind of give you that, to give you the confidence that you know you can defend, especially when you've had some horrific shows. And they've accumulated some decent talent there as well. So yeah, it's an interesting project that they got going on at Arsenal. But yeah, I'm more focused on what we need to do Liverpool-wise to kind of get our issues down and get back on the horse of Premier League champions. I just want a quick one for you guys, by the way. I know we were talking about, you know, Liverpool favourites to win the league, but what do you think the main difference is? You know, I think all the top teams have got their own issues. So how could we be third if everyone's got an issue? I mean, Man City not operating with a number 9, which I think is hurting them in games. You know, losing silly matches to Crystal Palace at home. Chelsea haven't done that. Liverpool haven't done that. Chelsea themselves, Reece James is the top goal scorer for them. I mean, I find it hard to believe that a Premier League team with Reece James as their top goal scorer can win the league. The Lukaku experiment's looking a bit. I mean, he wasn't performing well when he's there. So why is it Liverpool are the third team? They should definitely be in there. I don't see this world where.
I'm straight back to you, Cougs, on that. You know, I think you should answer this question there.
No, do you know what? I think it's all about defense for me. When it comes to title contenders, because I think. This guy knows him. It's ridiculous.
Get that man a tissue, man.
It's all about defense, right? So, like, I think in any one game, I think Chelsea and Man City have enough quality to win a game 1-0. So, I think that the way that they play, so Chelsea teams basically just don't get a sniff against Chelsea, and if they do, you've got Mendy there who is just a tank. Right, when it comes to shot stopping, right now I think it's like 90% save percentage or something against shots on target. Right, so I think that on any one day, Chelsea versus 18, Chelsea will have enough in their locker to win that game on quality alone. Right, and then their defense is good enough to keep a clean sheet. I think whilst I think Liverpool, and it's the same in Man City, right? Like Man City just keep the ball all the time. So teams don't really come at them. You get the odd game where a team's counter-attack is very, very effective, and then they go and they crash it on Man City. But that doesn't, like, once that happens twice in the season, then they go on like a 15-game winning run, right? That's Man City. And I think with Liverpool, when your defense isn't as solid or there's people in and out, right? I don't think you have the ability to win games 1-0 right now. I think when everyone's fit, of course you do, right? Your defense is right up there. Van Dijk, Alisson, Gomez when he was there, or Matip when he stepped in is there. But I think right now you're very susceptible, and I think teams, it's not actually difficult for teams to get at you. I think your midfield struggling to sort of compress teams as much as you have done in the past without Henderson and Wijnaldum, etc. I think Fabinho is still playing very well, but when Henderson's legs and Wijnaldum's legs are not there, I don't think the other midfielders are doing their job as well as those two have done in the past. And teams are just like against Brentford, I've never seen Liverpool get pammed like that in recent years, like where it was literally like it was attack after attack after attack after attack. And you don't really see that with Chelsea. You don't really see that with Man City either. So that's just why. It's just defense for me. But going forward, I think Liverpool are actually the best team in the league. So
no, that's one thing I was going to say. I definitely agree with Dan. Especially, I have no belief or not, of all the crowd that I've been throwing, I have no exceptions to people actually believing that we're third favourites, and I understand why. Because with Liverpool, especially, Dan mentioned how we're different to Chelsea and Man City. With Chelsea, as you would know, Babs, even though it's a boring game, you're not getting a chance. And when we get our one chance, we're scoring, and they can get a 1-0 and go away with that. With Man City, when they win, they will win comfortably. They will ball you off the park. They're not letting you get a touch of the ball. They will win. But with us, even when we do win, and even when we do beat teams, there's still that element of but when it's 2-0, for example, a team can still get back into the game. They can still, get through our midfield. But then luckily, because we have very talented players, especially in our defense, when they do play, who are very good at playing, for example, the high line. They're able to deal with problems when they get in behind. That's when, we're at our best. But even then, for example, when we beat Norwich. No, it wasn't Norwich. Who did we beat at home? So many teams. I'm sorry. Who was it? There was one game where it wasn't a comfortable win. And I can't remember which one it was. Sorry, AC Milan. That was it. Sorry, AC Milan in the Champions League, for example. Where we have that moment of madness where we don't capitalize on our chances. And then one team just gets like that 10 minutes of just a moment of luck. They can score and they could bring the morale down. Do I think that's going to happen against Arsenal? No, I hope not. But we're definitely, again, as you said, third title favourites because of those kind of frailties. And with the way our team has been set up, with the way we've been dropping like flies, it's hard to build that consistency, especially in midfield where, Wijnaldum was kind of doing the dirty work for what we needed to do to go forward. And now he's not there anymore. You got guys like Naby Keita and Thiago who can't be relied upon. And Henderson's not having the best game. We're more susceptible than usual.
Fair enough. And that was a very good way to end the show before we go to Kopend 11. Before we do that, a cheeky plug, guys, the quarter season Premier League review has just gone out to the patrons. Guys, make sure you head over to patreon.com/Kopend Fracas, patreon.com/Touchy Gooners. You can subscribe for as little as £3 a month. Or if you're feeling generous, you want to support the lads, go for the £10 a month, Dennis Bergkamp, or the £10 a month from Superstar Salah. Support the guys, enjoy the extra content. I'm sure you'll love it. But yeah, let's get to the Kopend 11. Guys, this is what everybody's here for. This is where the bragging rights are. This is where the shamelessness really comes out and comes to light. So let's get in straight away. Let's really set our parameters. So, guys, what formation are we going to be going with? I'm going to start with you. I'm touching you. What formation are you guys thinking to go with? Choose wisely.
I don't really mind too tough, I'll favour 4-2-3-1 personally. I don't know how you feel about that, Shabs.
Yeah,
I'll favour 4-2-3-1.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's calm with me.
Fair enough. And I'm going to go to Kopend. So, what parameters do you guys want to going to decide this on? Are we deciding this off of this season's form, or are we just going to go with the calendar year as of yet?
You know what, Babs? Yeah, you want to do this season?
Yeah. You have to keep. That's the rules. We never do the calendar year.
Hey,
Yeah,
look, man, I'm the
because
host,
my
man, and I make my own
Yeah.
rules. But you know what? If you want to go over this season, let's get right into it. So, like, guys, let's start over in goal. Cougs, I'm gonna come over to you. Who are you gonna have as your goalkeeper?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad Julian said this season, you know, because that was I thought you were gonna fight me on that because
No.
you know my whole thing is, you know, obviously it's Liverpool, Arsenal. The past few seasons, you know, we've not been the best, back-to-back eighth, etc. They've, you know, 98 points, 99 points, this, that, and the other, you know. So I'm glad that we're keeping it to this season because I think that can be a fairer sort of, you know, judgment, fairer sort of, you know, back and forth that we can have. So this season, I actually think you can't look past Ramsdale. You actually can't look past him. I'm not even like a madness on Ramsdale, yeah, but for me, since he's come into the team, he has been, you know, top 2 keepers in the league with Edouard Mendy. You know, his save percentage, I think, is that those two are the only 2 keepers that have above 85% save percentage. His distribution has been phenomenal. That's something that I don't think anyone has, you know, thought he had in his locker when he was at Sheffield United and Bournemouth before. So for me, it's actually a no-brainer. Since he's come in the team, we're going off this season. It has to be Ramsdale.
Fair enough. I'm gonna come to you, Shabs. Do you echo Cougs' thoughts?
Oh, we have to. And I think if you're talking about the alternatives, look, don't get Alisson is a very good keeper. I think that's been a fantastic piece of business by Liverpool, and you know he's lived up to the price tag. I don't think there's much debate about it. A USP of Alisson is, you know, not just his goalkeeping ability, but his ability to play. If we're looking at Ramsdale and we're saying, well, actually, his distribution has been this good, in addition to his actual keeping, like his traditional goalkeeping, his ability, his positioning, his command of the area, whatnot, then it's hard to say, all right now, especially on current form, especially on this season form, it's hard to make a justification that Alisson has been better. If you just look at the last, you know, 4 games, what goals conceded, it's a hard argument to make for Alisson right now. Ramsdale is the informed keeper in the league, second to probably only Edouard Mendy. So I can't argue with that.
Fair enough. From Chris, what's going to be your kind of argument? Are you going to agree with the Touchy Gooners, or have you got a trick under your sleeve?
Oh, absolutely not. It's Alisson Becker every single day of the week. I think people are, you know, they're just watching the West Ham game and they're like, oh, we can use this to our advantage. He's been poor at set pieces, whatnot. But actually, he's been fairly good, you know, punching away corners and whatnot this season. I think it's more actually to do with the zonal marking aspects of how we defend corners these days as opposed to the goalkeeping.
That seems to slip away.
There's always that one. But yeah, I mean, start of the season, he's been absolutely fantastic. And even look at some of the games recently as well. Game against United was stout in that performance. You know, the history books will say it was a 5-0 result, but United did have a few shots on target, but he saved every single one of them. Brighton, he was fantastic as well. But yeah, man, that's my guy. The true Brazilian number 1. None of those guys with braces that play for teams in blue. Yeah, Alisson Becker every single day of the week.
Fair enough. And Julian, you know, you were quite bright in your praise for Ramsdale earlier, you know, during the show. What do you think about this? What's your deciding vote here?
Well, as much as I do think Ramsdale is having a great season, no denying, I do also think, that Alisson has been as good. I'm not going to say better, I'll be honest, but I also want to just throw in there like what Chris said. Chris made a good point that people saw the West Ham game and thought that Alisson had a terrible and hasn't been good this season, which is not true. He's got the same amount of clean sheets as Ramsdale. He's actually performed very well in a lot of games. He's actually kept us. They both got 5.
The same amount of clean sheets in more games.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't even mean to interrupt. I was just thinking out loud. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm not saying that he's like got more.
No, sorry. I apologize. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I do feel like there's been a lot of games where Alisson actually has kept us in, and I feel like with his goalkeeping style and with the way we defend, he's not going to get many Hollywood moments to have like Hollywood saves where it's going to be on a highlight reel, especially with the way he defends. He's very efficient. He will come out, like, for example, when the chances are on, he will come out, make himself big, and even deny the opportunity before he even has to make the Hollywood save, which is very comfortable for me. Apart from the one game again at West Ham, I don't think Alisson's been bad at all this season. One of our actually best performers, I would say. So yeah, man, I'm going with Alisson.
I think that's fair enough. You know, obviously the signing vote has to come to me. I look at the two goalkeepers this season. You know, you just can't look past, you know, Ramsdale's save percentage. You know, 86% to Alisson's 66%. You know, you look at the post shot expected goals minus goals allowed, and Ramsdale, I believe, is only second only to Edouard Mendy, whereas, you know, Alisson's actually the negative for one. So I think, you know, you look at that, you know, you add on the fact that, you know, Ramsdale only conceded 4 goals to Alisson's 11. You know, the distribution on Ramsdale's side.
In more games, like Shab said.
Yeah, smaller sample sizes will do that, you know.
As I just said,
shout it now.
Listen, don't interrupt me, right? Don't interrupt me. It's only been 2 games. It's only been 2 games. I checked the stats, don't worry. And I mean, for me, you did decide yourself, Julian. You had to decide to vote. You went with form, and I'm sorry to say, but it's going to have to be Ramsdale. I didn't think ever in my life I'd ever be saying Ramsdale be starting in going ahead of Alisson, but today seems to be the day. So let's go over straight away to right back. Guys, I think this one probably is going to be a nice and quick one. Chris, I'm going to go over to you. Who are we having at right back?
Trent. Let's keep this one short and sweet.
Julian?
Yeah, you know what he's about. Come, man. Let's not lie.
Fair enough. Cougs, I know you've been selling them Tomiyasu stocks.
My guy Tomiyasu, yeah. Let's get into it. Now, to be honest, as good as I think Tomiyasu's been, you know, and I think he has been good. £16 million. It's looking like a tidy little sum. He just turned 23 the other day. You know, he's very young, and I think he has been very, very good. You know, I think he's probably looking like, you know, one of the best sort of shutdown right backs in the league. But you know, I'm not that shameless, yeah. So we'll give it Trent. I'm a big fan of Trent.
Fair enough. Yeah, he reminds me a bit of an early Aspilicueta when he first came in the league. You know, very, very strong 1v1. I'm not sure about him going forward, but I think that's like the kind of profile player that he kind of likens me to. Shab, we're gonna come over to you. Are you gonna agree with him, Cougs, on the Trent choice, or are you gonna? Do you have anything else that you wanna let off your chest?
No, I just think the going forward thing with Tomiyasu is more a case of instruction than anything else. I think especially when he came in the first games, actually he played very high. You saw him getting forward, and you know, we've seen a lot less of that, and a lot of that is to do with how we build up the security that Arteta wants off the ball. Especially on that side, he wants a bit of balance. He wants cover against the break. So that's what it is with Tomiyasu. But he's come in. I think everyone was laughing about the purchase. Sky Sports was doing big propaganda saying he was thrown about to bear clubs.
Hey, that Cave guy's a waste, man. I can't believe he done that. He was throwing waste in Sky Sports, bro.
He's a dickhead for that still.
Big reputable thing like that, you know. You got like, this is what people are doing. So you can see the agenda, but nah, man, for me, Tomiyasu has been very good. He's very good with his feet as well. And again, like, I don't think he's a better defender than Trent, but if we're going on form, I'm having him. Defensive form, I'm having him. I'm picking Tomiyasu. I'm going with him.
Well, obviously, you know, it's a 3-1 vote to Trent, so we're gonna have to go with Trent and right back. So centre back pairings, guys. What are we gonna do here? I'm gonna start with you, Shabs. Who is your centre back pairing?
Oh, come on, man! It's Benny Blanco and the Brazilian boy, like without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt, man.
Benny Blanco.
Yeah, of course.
Benny Blanco.
I can't like that name. And it's kind of gassing me. It's kind of gassing.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Because my son is Ben White, brother.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one.
50M Benny Blanco, like that's what it is. Like it's just let's just call it what it is.
And Coos, what have we got to say on that point?
Yeah, man. I'm with Shabs. I think Julian did us a bit of a favour when he said, you know, we're going off this season, we're going off form and stuff, because I think in terms of the defence, I actually think it's a no-brainer. You know, as I said, we've conceded less goals than Liverpool have this season after our horrible start where Gabriel wasn't playing. We didn't have the right back. Kolasinac is starting at the Etihad. Do you get what I'm saying, right? And we've now conceded less goals than Liverpool. So when we've had this back five together of Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, whether it's Tierney or Tavares and Ramsdale, we have been one of the best defenses in the league, you know. And I think this centre back pairing has been better than Liverpool's this season. You know, Gabriel and White have barely put a foot wrong. You know, I think Ben White, he's been a little bit shaky, but, you know, people talk about, you know, that Brentford match where he got panned by Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney panned Van Dijk worse, and Brentford scored more goals against Liverpool than they did against us, you know, and that was a game where, you know, Liverpool basically had their full strength team. We had, you know, Martinelli, Balogun, and these young boys playing, you know, and it was Pablo Mari that was next to Ben White. So if Van Dijk and Matip are looking that scary against Brentford, I don't know what Van Dijk's going to look like when he's playing next to Pablo Mari. Do you know what I mean? So I think we need to give Ben White a little bit of leeway there. So for me, our centre-back pairing, without a doubt, if you look at the stats, you look at the numbers, 8 games they've played together. Gabriel is unbeaten in his last 14 games for Arsenal going back to last season. So if we're talking about form, there's no one better unless you go to the Chelsea defenders, you know, or these Christensen stats and stuff that people want to talk about. But this season, Gabriel has been one of the finest centre-backs in the league. And that pairing, that back three of Ramsdale, White, Gabriel, you can't shake it. You can't shake it.
It's formidable. And we're seeing Virgil. And listen, I really love Virgil. I respect Virgil. I think he's dope. Hasn't looked the same since he's come back, but I'm seeing him running back, covering ground, and just switching up the place in terms of his partner. We've all seen him pointing and shouting at his partner, whoever his partner's been this season. So we can't be talking about defensive partnerships when he's been looking at shaky and ropey. We can't, and then overlook for propaganda. Nah, let's just have it right, man. This should be quick and easy. We've got the centre back pairing. It has to be the Arsenal pairing. Has to.
I'm gonna come over to you, Krishna. You seem quite in deep thought. I've seen a more to your face. I've seen you go from disgust to laughter to just be absolute befuddlement. So, what would your centre back pairing would be? And do you agree with the points that Cougs has just eloquently laid out there?
I mean, kind of a man called Benjamin in the combined 11. What are we doing here, Benjamin?
But Virgil's okay, yeah.
That's his name.
About first name.
That's his name. That's his name.
Well, that's Benjamin's name as well. I don't understand.
I found that whole thing really weird. It's like we've been calling you Ben White for the best part of like 4 years. Now you want to be called Benjamin. Now you want to rebrand because you've moved to Arsenal. It's all just all odd for me. What we're not going to do is leave out the standard, the blueprint, the benchmark, Mr. Virgil van Dijk out of this combined 11. Even now, even when apparently he's in his lack of form, the fear that man strikes into attackers' eyes, they don't want it with him. They can try it. They don't want it with him. It's only been dribble past once this season. And I know how people love that dribbled against. The two gentlemen from the Arsenal pod, when Pepe did it, oh my word, it was some form of, it was a national holiday. It was a national holiday. So that's the standards that we hold Virgil van Dijk up to. And I think he's been quietly been very good this season. All things considered, just guided Holland again straight through to the World Cup next year. Less said about that specific World Cup, the better, in all honesty. But yeah, I've got to go with Virgil. And I've got to quietly go for one of the better centre backs in the league, not only in the league but in Europe, to be fair, in Joel Matip. Injury prone, yes, but again, this season he's come back with a vengeance. And he's been performing extremely well. The two guys, they go together. Probably our best centre-back pairing. Gomez, I do love the guy, but he's going to have to hold the bench for now whilst he, gets back up to full speed. And Konate, man, this is another guy, Ibrahima Konate. We're going to see coming into this combined 11 when he gets settled, man. That guy is a tank. We saw what he did. We saw what he did to Ronaldo. Imagine what he can do against Aubameyang. He's going to have Aubameyang by his neck in his lovely, multicolored attire that he likes to wear. He's gonna have him in the future in that, man. In that thriller jacket that he likes to wear. Gonna have him by his neck and rough him up. So, but yeah, for me, it's gonna be Van Dijk and Matip.
Fair enough. And Julie, I'm going to come over to you. Are you going to echo those thoughts, or are you being enticed by the Benny Blanco and Gabriel pairing?
Hey, listen, man. Them boys at Arsenal, they've done well. You know, they picked up form, got a nice, a couple cute clean sheets. It's nice, but let's talk about like raw form now, because especially with this season, because what these Arsenal boys have done, and I respect the mind games that they've played, is that they've used the last two results to kind of overshadow how good Virgil van Dijk has been this season. So, for example, he's won 5-0 at Man United, 5-0 at Watford, and these aren't nils, by the way. 3-0 at Leeds, 3-0 at Norwich, 2-0 at Burnley. So these are all clean sheets that have magically been forgotten because of our last two games, and I'm not really sure why. Yes, we've had moments like Brentford in between, where Ivan Toney also, as you mentioned, stuck it on both of our centre-backs. But are you really going to deny how good we especially started our season and how great we've been defensively, especially with, you know, some of the games that we played have been quite tough. But yeah, man, and if we was to go to Arsenal, if we look and we look at their defensive record, and also, as Dan said, look at Arsenal as a whole in terms of the season. Ben White had a poor start to the season. I'll say the first 2-3. Did he play against Man City?
No,
he
only played against Brentford.
He only played against Brentford.
He didn't play against Lukaku.
No.
Apologies. Yes, sorry. Also, sorry. Sorry. We just had one bad game. Yeah, one bad game. Sorry, one bad game. But still, man, you can't look past how good Van Dijk can.
And Van Dijk conceded more goals, and that was at home. We were away, and Van Dijk was against. He was paired with his first choice players. Yeah, Ben White was with Pablo Mari, and as you saw, if we're referencing the Chelsea game, you saw what Lukaku done to Pablo Mari. Yeah, we know Pablo Mari's not up to scratch. He was playing alongside bums. You know, Callum Chambers was the right back. Pablo Mari was his left centre back, and it was Tierney on left back, but that's not where we conceded the goals. You get what I'm saying? And then we had Leno in goal. So, you know, you can do that all you like, but the names we mentioned, when they play together, boy, you can't fault them.
Okay.
Also, Julia, I don't like the way that you said, we've had some bad results in between, and you referenced like a game that took place like 2 months ago. Like, let's talk about the game that took place that Virgil and Matip started, the last Premier League game, West Ham. They got dunked on, man. Like, they got dunked on. Let's talk about the game before that as well. Brighton. Yeah. Brighton did you lot over.
That was that way. Whoa. Those goals against Brighton. Those goals against Brighton wasn't.
Sorry, bro. Your rules was recent form. So if we're talking about recent form, in the last 2 league games, you conceded 5 goals.
We're talking about this season, not just the last 5 games.
And Babs, let's just note, the last 2 games they conceded 5 goals. The partnership that we picked ain't conceded 5 goals all season. Babs. 8 games.
But you got to wrap this up, man.
I mean, you guys have put some excellent points together. You know, today, you know, the pairing of Benny Blanco and Gabriel, man, like, is very, very enticing. You know, but as a correction, I think you said them they were at their guy playing Brentford, but it was actually at Brentford's stadium. To be fair,
I was going to mention that.
With the deciding vote, I do think Gabriel has been amazing this season, so I'm going to have to go him as my first centre back. And second centre back for me is going to be Matip. I think Matip has been very, very impressive this season. I can't really look past him, you know, in terms of centre backs across Europe, as Chris has said. I think Ben White has had a very, very strong start to his Arsenal career. You know, a lot of questions were asked about him, you know, whether he'd be worth the money, but so far it does seem as though he's been a steady improvement so far as of yet. You know, obviously the question is going to be asked whether you can do it over the course of the season, but we'll see there on it. Even just then on the defense alone, you know, even if we don't look at since they've come in, Arsenal already conceded 2 more goals than Liverpool. So I mean, for me, these are always I felt it was quite tight. So I would have to go with Gabriel and Matip at the back line. So
sorry, Babs, can you say that again? Arsenal have what?
We conceded 2 less goals.
They conceded 2 less goals than Liverpool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Two more goals. They really conceded 2 more goals than Liverpool. So let's go over left back. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm going to go over to you, Christian. Who would you like to have as your starting left back?
I'm going to throw a wild card here. It might mess up the algorithm. I'm going to go Shimikas. Much malaligned. We do a thing on the Kopend Fracas Patreon page every summer, the transfer game. And, pretty much every single team sold this man in the summer because simply he couldn't get a game last year. COVID season and whatnot, COVID tax. And the fact that, we had to keep a consistent back four for the majority of the season, given the dire straits that we were in. But every single game that he's played this season, every single appearance he's had, he's taken that and he's gotten that back in blood. He's been fantastic. He's delivered on set pieces. His defensive prowess in Europe and in the league. The games he started, I don't think he's conceded a goal in the games that he has started. So for graded off defensive work, got to put him there as well. And his attacking way, his relationship with Mane has been fantastic this season. As well, and his creativity again. So he's got to be Kostas Shimikas for me.
I've been steadily impressed by his performances, especially his delivery, as you mentioned. Set pieces, especially. I feel like he's probably got one of the best deliveries in the league going. So I think that was a wild card worth playing anyway, in my opinion. And I'm going to come over to you, Julian. Who would you have as your left back? Do you agree with Christian, or do you want to go with a different player?
Why is this Nathan brother so angry? Fucking hell, bro. Jesus Christ, man. Like, having the comments who just hate, bro. Like, bro,
shout out
Nathan, man.
He always keeps the chat bumping, man. He always keeps the chat bumping.
Big up
But
Nathan,
anyway,
man. That's a touchy gooner right there, man.
Yeah, man.
Big up
He's a bit too much of a gooner, bro. He needs to relax, man.
Touchy Gooner Patreon, yeah. For Patreon, we got to give him.
Yeah, we got to give him. He's right hard. I respect it, man. Where's Jack of the Herd? But anyway, yeah, man. Surprisingly, out of all the left backs that are available to us, it's actually weird that I'm going to go with Shimikas. And this might be agenda, but I feel like out of all of the left backs that have started this season, even at Arsenal, Tavares has been good, okay? Like, I maybe the Arsenal boys can tell me, like, he hasn't really been a standout in terms of left back. He hasn't really had crazy moments to call back on. But I would say Shimikas has, and everyone that's been on this, and Tierney hasn't really played this season. He's been injured for a lot of it. So I would have left backs available to us out of the four, surprisingly, out of everyone. I'm going to pick Shimikas.
Fair enough. I'm going to come over to you, Shabs. Who have you got as your left back choice? Do you agree with what Julian's just said there, or are you going to throw a spanner in the works?
I can't believe these brothers. I can't believe these brothers are throwing Shimikas. Nah, man, this is banter. It's definitely messed up the algorithm, but it's Tavares for me. It's a no-brainer. It's Tavares. Like, if we're talking about form again, his performances have been solid and sturdy since he's come in. I don't think anyone expected anything from this guy. I think every justification you could have for Shimikas, if you can't have that same justification and then some for Tavares, then nice. It's rigged. It's agenda. I'm not having it because you can't. There's no. I've looked at Shimikas. I don't think he's bad, by the way. I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. But Tavares, man, like that boy, he's got something about him. And people were laughing about him. People were onto him. People were saying, "I'm not sure about him. He's tech or whatnot."
Arsenal fans, by the way.
Physically, he's a specimen. He's an absolute specimen. You know.
Pause.
He just
what made you go with that verse?
Can I ask you what's because I'm not too familiar with him, but maybe you can enlighten me. But Tavares, what's his standard attribute that you've seen so far from him that puts him above Shimikas?
I think
there's a few.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, there are a few. Do you know what? I really like his stature. Like, he's quite a tall, imposing figure. I like his athleticism.
Hey, he's not a model. He's a footballer, bruv. You got
yeah. So what? It's not what physicality doesn't matter in football.
I mean, if it helps.
I'm looking at the stats right now.
Exactly. Benteke is a big youth, and he's not really doing his job. You know what I mean?
So you asked me, I started there. I haven't.
Oh, sorry.
There's many things that I like about his game. I like his I like his ability to carry the ball. I think
I was basically going to mention bone structure or something, but I'll let you keep
his left foot and his right foot. You're not a guy to a dark, seedy place. You know, I don't know what's going on over here, man. You lot are getting fruity over there.
I like his biceps.
Some implications. I don't know what's going on with you lot, right? Get out, man. Get out more. But yeah, man, I like him. He's good on the outside. I think he's very good at the underlapping run as well. What I liked for him, I've done a wee bit of research before we signed him, and I just like how high he is, especially off the ball. How high he almost positions himself in midfield. He's got great legs. He can cover the ground defensively. There's a lot that I like about him in terms of his mobility, and when I think we haven't had that type of player at Arsenal in a fullback position for some time. It's something that's been quite refreshing to see. He's got a good delivery. I think some people have been like, nah, actually, I'm not convinced on his delivery, but I can't even remember what game it was. I don't think it was the Leicester game. We've got to go back a couple games now, but I was seeing him getting forward, getting high up, and putting some absolute balls into dangerous areas of the pitch. I think he also gives us a dimension at Arsenal as well, working quite well on that left-hand side with ESR, who comes in off of that left flank, and he's an option there to go on the outside, man. I think, Cougs, you probably got more to say on him, but I like him, man. I like him.
I'm going to hand over to you, Cougs. And do you agree with the good brother Shabs here?
Yeah, I'm 100% with Shabs. I think Julia made a good point, he's like out of the 4 left backs that have been, sort of playing that are an option to us kind of thing. I do think Tavares and Tsimikas are probably just 2 standouts, even though I think they've played less than their respective sort of competitors for each team. I think Robertson's been poor. I think Tierney's been poor. And I think the backups have they've stepped up to the plate when they've been asked of. And I think just for me personally, I think Tavares has actually just been a bit more devastating in the way that he plays. Julian asked, sort of what are the attributes we think that makes him stand out. I think his PMP is ridiculous. I don't know if you lot were watching that Aston Villa match, but that was like Friday night football under the lights, and I think he was given whoever Robinson or Roberts or whoever the Villa right back is. He was coughing blood. Trying to keep up with Nuno Tavares, and I think against Leicester you saw his ability to carry the ball, starting at left back position, ending up in right wing, setting up chances for his teammates, etc. So in terms of Tsimikas and Tavares, I think Tavares has actually just been more devastating, more eye-catching, had more impact in the games. I think Tsimikas has been good. His crossing has been good. I don't think he's had to do much defending. You mentioned that he's not conceded a goal in the games that he's played, but I also, to take some of the words out of your mouth, those were against teams that you're almost expected to beat as well. So I don't think he's really been tested too tough whilst he's been playing for Liverpool this season. So for me, I think Tavares has been he's shown a little bit of special sauce, and I think Nathan makes a good point, that Liverpool, they do try and play through their fullbacks as well, which is probably helping Tsimikas stand out, whereas Arsenal we really don't to that extent. And I think Tavares has shown that sort of the individualistic quality when he's played. He's shown bravery to break out of structure, and he's really made a difference when he's played. So we said it on the pod yesterday. Shout out all the Touchy Gooners. That we said who we'd start out of Tierney because I think he's fit right now, and I think Tavares has done enough to sort of keep Tierney out of the team, which is saying something because Tierney, is a fan favourite. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Nuno, he's got to be in there.
I think you guys have both put on some very good points there, and obviously, with me having decided, but it's quite a tough one. It's quite a tough one because obviously, it is the 2 deputy fullbacks, coming in. Early on, I did watch. I do enjoy watching them. Both teams. I watched a bit of Arsenal and Tavares. He did look a bit raw at the beginning, but against Leicester, especially, man, he was unstoppable. Villa as well. I think it was Matty Cash. He had a torrid time against him. Like, I don't think I've seen somebody running ragged. I mean, I didn't really see him deliver any balls or anything, but I don't think I've seen a fullback offer such a devastating.
It was a good cross he played in for Saka, who missed that.
You should
The
have
chance,
done
that was
Tavares'
cross.
But then obviously, we look at over the Kopend, with the shimmy cast, a lot of people were worried about the drop off. A lot of people did see that as a weak area within Liverpool side, and he's done nothing but really alleviate those worries. Obviously, I'm not going to think about the UCL games because I'm just going to think about Premier League, but I do think he has had a strong showing. I think both left backs, once you've had a strong showing, and it would be hard for me to separate the two, but just off the base of what I've seen and the fact that I've watched a bit more Shimikas, I'm going to have to edge it over to him just a bit. I just have to edge him just a bit. I've been impressed with him. I'm not saying Tavares hasn't been impressive. I think they've both been equally impressive, but just off the basis that I've seen a bit more of Shimikas.
Sorry, Babs, I just want to say shout out to Shabs and Dan for actually making out that Tavares was actually for actually giving a good explanation of what Tavares does. I saw the way Babs was scrambling. He at the start was like, I don't really. Yeah. But no, I like it. I like the recovery. But Tavares, to be honest, I'm going to take your word for it in terms of, because I didn't watch the games where he actually played well. But in terms of what I've seen so far, he has grown into his role from what you said. But there's not really been anything special for the majority of his time at left back. But Shimikas as well.
And who knows? Maybe in the reverse fight card, the reverse fixture, we may see Tavares getting it. So let's go over to the double pivot. We're going to 4-2-3-1.
Hey, one sec. I'll be back.
No,
I think it says as well, isn't it, how much Scotland have been flogging our footballers, man.
Beating them iron, bro.
Babs, man. I don't know what's going on, Babs, but Julian, yeah, man, we observe players over here. Like that's what we do. Like we're really analysing players and player performances, man, and we'll bring you listeners nothing less. You know what I mean? Like you should expect nothing less from us. Like we do.
Of course, man. Of course. And if you guys want to hear this analysis, Wednesdays, Kopend Fracas, Thursdays, Touchy Gooners. Make sure you hit them up. As I said earlier, the Patreon, show some support. Show some support. We ain't trying to do this for free. The more money we make, the better quality content you guys get.
And I can get a camera as well, man.
Exactly.
Exactly, bro. I need a camera.
Better camera.
Put money in my canteen, bro. Are you mad?
Exactly. Shout out Ellis. Bang down your doors. I'm gonna come and see you, Chris. With a double pivot. Who are you gonna go with as your midfield two? Because it's probably gonna be the hardest position to actually go with. Judging off the injuries we've seen and as such.
It's a really difficult one, man. When you think about it, obviously midfield too. It's also very difficult considering the rotation with our midfield and how players have been going about. I was thinking about this at work earlier on, who I'm going to put in, but it's obviously one of them, Fabinho, first and foremost, automatic entry into the ballot. The guy's been, he's just imperious, man. He's the lighthouse for a reason. He's been covering a lot more space recently, and the recovery pace, and the awareness to do that has been absolutely fantastic. And he's been at the get you the 4K camera, and of course, man, he's just been imperious as always. My second choice, and I was thinking about this very difficultly. Wanting to give a little bit to Naby Keita, considering he's been playing very well this season whenever he's been in the Liverpool team.
I agree with that.
And I'm going to go with him. I'm going to have to stick with him. We look at the way that he's been playing for Liverpool this season. The man is made of cheese, but when he is available and when he can play, the impact he had cannot be denied. He's been doing the most heralded defensive role that... sorry, that quote's unreal, he's been doing a lot of the work that Wijnaldum did heraldedly for past 4 or 5 years as well. But he's been given that attacking impetus to his game as well, popping up with some really good goals and really good play from central midfield too. So I'm gonna have to go with Naby Keita and Fabinho. I think Thomas Partey has played really well for Arsenal when he has been fit. So yeah, it was a little bit difficult. The only respect I'll give to the option for the rest of this, apart from Smith Rowe later on. But yeah, man, it's going to be Keita and Fabinho for me.
Fair enough. I'm going to come with you, Julian. Don't forget, man. I listened to Kopend, so I've heard your comments on the Naby Keita. So
yeah, man.
I'm gonna want to hear your pairing. Who are you gonna go with?
Listen, if you
He's
listen
gonna
to
move shameless now. He's gonna move.
No. It's not shamelessness because if you listen to Kopend, you can catch us every Wednesday morning. We drop an episode. But yeah, man, if you listen, you will know that the only frustration I have with Naby Keita is that he cannot stay fit. He cannot stay well. His bones are made of brittle. He might be 40 years old. I don't know. But when he does play, I've always said the quality is not there. I'm sorry, the quality is always there. The quality is always there. So that's the only reason why Liverpool fans, especially us at Kopend, get mad frustrated with him because you saw against United, you saw it against Norwich, you saw against many teams this season when he actually did play. He was probably one of our standout midfielders, either getting a goal and assist in the Champions League. I'm not going to talk about it here because obviously, Premier League form. But he's also been one of our standout players. And of course, Fabinho has to be there because, he's Fabinho. He's one of the best DMs in the league, if not the best DM in the league. And if we're going to look at the Arsenal side, I don't think this season the Arsenal midfielders have really impressed. I think Partey, I think his time at Arsenal hasn't been set alight. It hasn't really been standout for me personally. I don't think he's been, he's been good when he's been available, but it's not nothing where I'm like, he should be starting over Fabinho at DM. And Lokonga, Dan, I've heard you say this as well. Still a lot of things to figure out with him. He's young, he's raw. You can't really, he's been starting in midfield a lot this season. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles played there one game, man of the match. Well done to him. But again, Arsenal and of course Xhaka, but he's Xhaka. So Arsenal's midfield hasn't really. I don't know. They've not as much as we've had standouts like Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka. The midfield hasn't really been in the conversation like that. So I don't think they have enough standout moments to go against Fabinho and Keita for me. So that's my reasoning.
No, fair enough. I'm going to come over to you, Cook, straight away. I saw you laugh a cheeky little laugh there. So what would your pairing be as your midfield too?
I was laughing at the Keita Shimaloa comment. I just think
the same trim.
That's one of the most ridiculous comments I've ever seen.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I dropped that in there myself.
That's one of the funniest comments I've ever read on Touchline Fracas. Yeah, so I got tears in my eyes. That's fantastic. But no, so for me, it has to be Fabinho Partey. We're going double pivot. If Fabinho he gets there, I'm not that shameless. I can't deny him. He's out of all the midfielders available, he has definitely been the best performer. And then I think out of all the midfielders available, I think Partey has been the second best performer. Personally, I think all of this talk about Keita, I'm just not having it, man.
Dan, sorry,
this guy.
Dan, can I ask a Touchy Gooners question quickly? Because I do listen a lot. How many times have you guys played the "Welcome to the Party" intro on your intro? This season?
We saved that for big games, though. We saved that for big
No.
We saved that for big games. We're not going to play that for beating flipping Watford at home. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
We're not going to do that.
Fair enough. I was asking, isn't it?
Yeah, so we say that for big games when we crash it at Old Trafford, crash it at Anfield. You know what I mean? So maybe, hopefully, next Touchy Gooners episode you might hear it. You get what I'm saying? So you remind me of that one. I got that one saved on the hard drive still. So we're gonna reload it. But for me, I think if we're just being like legit, in this sort of unbeaten run that we're talking about, he's been a mainstay. He's been very, very, I think, solid for us, very good. And I really, really don't think any other Liverpool midfielder has been as good as Partey this season. So, on that basis, I think he's done okay. He's done his thing. I think Old Trafford was a good performance from him, but then, he's getting his usual stretcher off the pitch. You know, at 60 minutes, and then you're hearing stuff about, oh, you don't know if he's going to be fit and whatnot.
Hey man,
so,
did you see that Pogba tackle? That tackle was nuts, bro.
I saw the tackle, but another midfielder just gets up, man. You know, it's
I can't follow you. You're not lying.
Yeah, so do you know what I mean? So it's not a good tackle, but it shouldn't be something you're getting stretched off for, you know. So I think Keita's been okay, you know, but I think Partey's been good. I don't think he's been like exceptional or anything like that, but I think he's been good, and I think that's enough to get him in this in a double pivot for me personally.
I think that's definitely fair enough. I think that's definitely fair enough to and very well put there to there. I liked how fair you were in terms of your analysis there. And I'm gonna come over to you, Shabs. Are you gonna agree with Cougs, or have you got your own midfield pairing of your own that you wanna let us go with?
No, I just think I think Fabinho, there's no contest there, and I think if we're keeping it a buck, if Partey was playing for Liverpool, he gets into that side every week with that current crop of midfielders. I'd say safe for Fabinho. So let's just not pretend anything else is going on here. That has to be the pairing.
You know what? Fair enough. I'm gonna have to agree. You know, just in terms of not just form but quality wise, you know, I would have to go with that pairing. To be fair to Keita, he has been quite impressive, but I think when I've watched Keita, I don't think I've been impressed by his overall midfield play more than I've been with like his actual like impact on games. So, like his goal against United. Aside from that, I don't think he was amazing in that game. You know, I haven't been impressed by his overall game. Whereas with a Partey, I think he did a good job against Leicester. I felt the game lost him a bit, but he did do a good job in terms of like, you know, mopping up the shop and keeping that game nice and close. So that's the player I'm going to probably go with him in terms of my double pivot. So obviously, you know, currently we've already got Ramsdale in goal, Trent at right back, Matip and Gabriel, Shimikash at left back with Partey and Fabinho in our midfield pairing. So let's go over to right wing. Krish, who are you going to go with over there? I'm sure it's not going to take much thinking for you, judging from that smell.
I was going to say, should we keep this one short and sweep? Short and sweep, because it's going to be a clean sweep anyway. Best player in world football at the moment. And I don't think we can call it form at the moment. It's just class showing through as it is. Mo Salah has been he's just been so imperious this season. It's an absolute joy. It's just a joy to watch him play. Add another layer to his game. He's come back, and yeah, he's just been absolutely bossing the place. So let's not spend too much time on this one. It's Mo Salah for me.
I'm sure we can be nice and quick, Julian. On that point, Julian, what have we got to say the right wing spot? I'm sure, obviously, you know, without Shaqiri, you know, at right wing, it's probably going to be an easy choice for you.
Anik would have bloody picked him as well. That's the mad thing.
Yeah, man. In the famous words of Blade Brown, you know, what's already done doesn't need to be said. Yeah, man, it's there.
EXP3, man. That's a classic, man. That's a classic.
Yeah, there's no questions. Salah, Dan and Shabs, do your thing. Don't even speak.
Shabs?
No, I'm going with my star boy, Bukayo Saka. I'm not saying. Listen, hear me properly. I'm not saying Salah doesn't get into my team. I'm saying at right wing, I'm having Saka.
Even though Salah's dangers come from the right wing.
Saka, I'm going with my boy. That's my boy, man. That's the star boy. Like, I'm not.
Fair enough. And Cougs, you seem quite shocked by that.
No. I respect Shabs, you know, and you know, now he's done it, I've got to back him in it, yeah. So what I'm gonna say is, yeah, if we do front four or front three, whatever, Salah's 100% getting in it, yeah. Salah's 100% getting in. So I'm saying I will rather someone else miss out than my boy Bukayo in it, yeah. So Salah can play up top, yeah, and then we'll have Saka right wing. Come.
Yeah, sorry. I don't think that's how it's going to go.
You're not fooling me, man. You're not fooling me. We're going to go Salah at right wing.
Man's trying to change the order like it's Uber Eats, bro.
I respect the agenda, to be fair. I respect the way that went.
I'm not doing that. Who are you going to go about left wing?
What, me? Left wing, I'm going to go Smith Rowe, man. You know, we're talking form. We're talking, you know, this season. He's one of the form players in the league. I think he's having impact. His ball carrying, as I mentioned before, has gone up to a new level. He's only behind Adama Traore in terms of dribbles per game, in terms of carrying distance per game, etc. He's scored 7 goals, I think now, all competitions, 4 in the league. Age 21, first full season. I can't really look past him. I think Mane has been good this season, but Liverpool fans, they were writing him off before we came into this season. They were calling him finished. They said the hair transplant that he did took his powers, all of this stuff. So he's been finishing well. I think overall play though, I can't look past Smith Rowe. I think Mane has scored 6 goals in the league to ESR's 4. But I look at the teams that they're playing for, the amount of chances they're playing, the amount of chances they're creating, amount of big chances missed, etc. Mane is getting a hell of a lot more chances than Smith Rowe is. I think Smith Rowe has 1 big chance missed. I think Mane is looking at 3 or 4. When we're talking about the level of chances, the level of finishing, the impact on games, I just don't think you can look past Smith Rowe for me.
Very well put there, and I'm going to come over to you, Shablam. I'm expecting you probably to echo the thoughts there, so I'm going to let you have a quick go there.
Oh man, you lot fucked up the thing, man. There's one star boy on the right, the other star boy on the left, and again, like if we're talking about form, if we're talking about partnerships, if we're talking about cohesion, if we're talking about everything, like everything that ESR offers, we've seen him do it as well the other day for England. Come on, man. Like, there's not like we can't play with this one. Like, we can't play.
We're bringing in form against San Marino into this. Oh, what
are
we doing?
We can't play with this pick, man.
We don't need to bring San Marino into it.
Yeah,
we don't need to. Even if we don't, he scored in the last 3 league games in a row, man. 21 years old. Come on, can't sniff it.
Yeah, I'm just adding gloss there, innit? That's it. That's what I'm just mentioning the gloss. Like, you got a call up, like that's not to be sniffed at. This is what he was doing in his first and second England call-up, goal and assist.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, it has been a very impressive season. We spoke about the impact earlier, 11 games, 4 goals, 2 assists. He's had quite an impact on Arsenal in terms of their rise in the season. I'm going to come over to you, Julian. What do you have to say? What do you have to say to this point?
Yeah, I love Babs' little analogy about the stat about the chances missed. Well, let's provide some context to those chances missed for Mane. When your team creates a lot more, you'll miss a lot more. And, he's obviously evidently scored a lot more. So that's going to happen. And for me personally, I feel like Mane has to be on the left wing. As much as Dan did bring up that Liverpool fans were criticising him before the season started, based off of a bad 18 months that he had previously before the season started. He's found his form. Literally, no one can fault him. He may not have an assist, but his game outside of goals has been a lot more improved than it was last season. But obviously, we can't bring in Champions League. But Champions League, the form has been there as well. Premier League, 6 goals already scored, more than anyone in the Arsenal lineup. I mean, you can't deny those numbers and his impact on the game. Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to go left wing, Mane. And I like Emil Smith Rowe, but there's levels.
Fair enough. Chris, I'm gonna come over to you. What have you say on the left wing?
Left wing. It's Mane. I think. But what we're forgetting is we've got to fit a number 10 in there somewhere. And that's where I was going to say Smith Rowe should go. So. Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with the Mane stats for this season. He's been fantastic. It's been a full remontada, hairline and all. The blonde streak, he's back, breaking all kinds of records. He's been fantastic. So yeah, it's got to be Sadio Mane for me.
Fair enough, and I mean, again, I've got the deciding vote, and let's be honest, if we're judging off this season, as you wanted, Julian, we're judging off form. I can't look past ESR. I'm sorry. I just can't. I think the impact that he's had on Arsenal this season, I think he's up there, man, in terms of players. As I said, I mean, the way he's helped Arsenal elevate up the league is nothing short of just impressive. If he were to go the calendar year, obviously it would have been Mane, but as you wanted, Julian.
It's not as I wanted. It's the rules. We don't do calendar year.
I gave you the option. I personally gave you the option, and you went with form. So I mean, we're gonna go ESR.
I'm surprised, to be honest, that you were.
And we're gonna go ESR.
No, we're gonna go with the rules, man. These are the rules. Last time we done form. This time we do form. Listen, like, isn't it? Like ESR, I'm not mad. Like, he's been amazing this season. Mane, in my opinion, he's actually helping the team win a title charge, you know what I mean? But, I'm just throwing that out there. But, yeah, if ESR wants to help Arsenal get Europa League, and that's better than, Mane with a title challenge, then.
Yeah. I see Cougs enjoying that drink over there. I may have to.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the drink.
I may have to pour me myself.
I've already done mine off, bruv.
No better spice rum on the market right now. Yeah, that's Olas. That's how we do it. You get me?
Yeah. You heard
it's
them.
Hitting right now. It's hitting.
You heard them, man. You heard them, man. LassoLasRumClub.com. Head over there if you're 18 plus. Enjoy the vibes. And let's go to the next position in the number 10. It's gonna be an interesting one because neither side's really playing a traditional number 10. So the arguments are gonna have to be on point there to really move me over. So I'm gonna start with you, Julian. Who are you gonna go with in that number 10 position?
Because I have another one of our players up front, I'm gonna go with Firmino. And Firmino is not a number 10, but he does operate in that area a lot. He's linked up well with Mane and Salah and the midfield when he has played. Popped up with a few goals this season, matching Arsenal's top goal scorer. Yeah, man, like Firmino's had a bit of a remontada as well. He's come back. He's had a bit of a rest, coming off of an injury. He's wavy. He's wavy. Number 10 for me. And also with Arsenal's number 10, if we're going to compare the two, Odegaard hasn't been too inspiring at Arsenal. He's had a bit of a slow start. Could pick up because I definitely feel like he is talented. But if we're just going to look at the two players objectively who we're going to put there, Firmino has been better than Odegaard this season. If these guys are going to put him there, so I'm going to go with Firmino.
Fair enough. And Krish, I'm going to go with you. Who are you going to go with as in number 10 position?
You already know where I'm going. Roberto Firmino. I'm annoyed I've not got my black turtleneck on because I could give a good business pitch in the Bobby Firmino stock market and how now is the time to invest. I mean, if we're just looking at Premier League stats alone, he's averaging the goal every 90 minutes. His overall play has just been fantastic this season as well. We're really linking up the midfield and attack sensationally. So everything a number 10 should do with the goals of a number 9. Limited appearances this season as well, obviously due to injury, but whenever he has played, he's been imperious and has been superb. Getting goals within the box, getting goals outside the box, the link-up play. The guy has been fantastic and has really been making the team tick in certain.
Hey man, you guys need to have some big cock, bruv. Like, fam, it is wavy.
Whoa. What made you go with
family?
What made you go with that?
They have a burger called the Big Cock. What am I gonna do, bruv? Like, fam,
Robert Julian, please.
Do you not call the Big Mac the Mac? Like,
please.
Relax, my friend. Relax.
Take us back to where we used to be to.
Whoa! I don't even think I can land this plane. But if you just look at every single thing that Firmino is doing, shot creating actions, goal creating actions, he's been fantastic this year. And it has to be Bobby. That's definitely going to be clipped in it. That's definitely going to be clipped and weaponized against Julian there.
Hey, if no one else is clipping it, I'm clipping that myself tonight, man.
Hey, Coogie's trying to eat retweets off of Julian's head, man. I respect you.
Yeah, of course, man. I need that Jules pack.
I'm going to go into you, Coops. Who are you going to go with in that number 10 position?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. The thing is, for me, what we did with Salah, we tried to sneak him in at a striker. I think these lot are trying to do the same with Firmino. Firmino's not really played in at number 10 position, you know. So you're trying to do the cheeky thing that you didn't let us do, so we're not going to let you do that. For me, of the players who have played in number 10 this season, it's actually only Arsenal players. You know, I think, you know, I tried to do a little cheeky thing when I was picking the formations and that. And for me, Lacazette, of the 10s available, has been the standout performer. You know, he might not have the necessary numbers, but I think his impact on the matches that he's played has been immense. You know, so, you know, you look at Leicester, look at Aston Villa game, the pressing, the getting up and down the pitch, really adding that physicality to the match. I think it's a no-brainer that he has to go in. Julian's mentioned Odegaard, and I think he had a decent 6 months for us, but he's not really set the world alight this season. So I just have to go with Lacazette. You know, Firmino, I think he's done his thing this season. But he's been playing as the number 9. So if they're going to say Firmino for all of these things, whoever they're going to say as number 9, I don't think it works for me personally, because all the things that Firmino has done well, he's done it in that number 9 position. He's not done it as a 10. So if you're going to say all of these things about Firmino, then I'm going to have to put our striker in. So it's one or the other for me. And you've said it in a number 10. I'm not really having it. Doesn't work.
But our number so the argument we're doing has more credibility to what a number 10 does, as opposed to cardio and using his BBL to fend off defenders.
Stop this. Again, because when Firmino's been playing number 9,
and even the good brother Peter Amosa has come in and said Lacazette. He's not a 10 either.
Look, do you need 3 man?
But he's played in the 10 this season.
Oh, we don't need 3 man. We're doing our thing right now.
I just want to remind you, the last time Lacazette was picked, he dropped an absolute disaster pass on after the fight card. So I just want to put out there in case you're having any doubts.
Come on, man. This doesn't matter.
It does, because you know, we won't get into it. Shabs?
Yeah, fair enough, Shabs. Go for it.
No, it's Lacazette, man. Like, let's not bullshit either, because Dan's just said it. Dan's just called it. The very thing that they just now did not allow us to do. They're trying to do this.
We didn't like to. You know, wait.
Wait.
You make it sound like we called the play.
Exactly.
Wait.
It's not the same thing.
Can I finish?
We're on the sideline going.
Julian's over there drinking big cock. Chris can't even look at the screen. Allow me. We can't be talking about credibility. We can't. And they're trying to shamelessly do Firmino at 10. I'm not having it. Can we just round up Lacazette and just move on to
but what I was gonna say is
I'm sorry, but just for that bar alone, it's gonna have to be Lacazette. I'm sorry.
This is why.
This is more than a match. No, Babs. No, Babs. I'm not having this.
Just for that
Give us a
alone.
Babs. We're not having this. You say more than a match. Wait.
I'm gonna have to go with Lacazette.
Let's move on.
Set the forward.
Next one. Centre forward. So
let's let me hear you not try to mention Firmino.
Let's have a quick recap. So obviously
this has lost credibility.
We've got Ramsdale in goal. We've got Trent at right back. We've got Matip and Gabriel. Tsimikas at left back. Partey and Fabinho. With Salah, ESR, and Lacazette.
Babs, could you give your...
This is a tiebreaker.
Babs, could you give your footballing reasons for Lacazette, please? Your footballing reasons.
Big man. It's nearly 10 p.m. All right. I got work tomorrow. All right. I got work tomorrow.
It's past 10 p.m.
I have time.
Let's keep it stepping. So striker, guys, who are we gonna go with? Chris, I'm gonna go with you. Who are we gonna go as striker?
Jota. Easy money.
Move. Shabs, who are you gonna go striker? I'm gonna break up here a bit.
Aubameyang. Easy money.
Fair enough. And brother Julian, who are you going to go up top?
Oh, sorry, Diego Jota.
That's a bit of hesitation there.
No, I was reading something. I was reading the text.
Okay. Right, fair enough. And Cougs, who are you going to go with?
It's Aubameyang.
You know what? I mean, I look at it this season, you know, the numbers wise, you know, Jota, you know, goal per minute, he's been a bit more, you know, been a lot more impressive. You know, he's been a lot more clinical probably as well. But I look at Lacazette's impact, you know, on the front line of Arsenal. I've been very, very impressed. I've been very, very impressed. You know, I also look again at if I'm gonna pick another Jota game, I'm gonna look at the United game, and even though he did press me, he didn't play a striker. You know, he played out wide left wing to replace Mane. So
Exactly.
it's quite a tough one. It's quite a tough one, you know. So I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's supposed to be. You know, looking at, you know, the goal per minute is quite marginally close. You know, assists as well is quite close again. And I mean, you look at it, they've both played the same amount of games. I feel like they've been as quality as each other. So I'm going to come back to you guys again to really win my vote here. What has been the standard attribute of each of the players that you guys have just named? Julian, I'm going to come to you.
Do you know what, Babs, let me tell you this. Yeah.
Dan.
I'm sorry. Let me just say this. I know there's order. Let me just say this. Yeah. We're going for number 9 position. Yeah. And all I'm saying is, how many games has Diogo Jota played as number 9 this season?
A few.
Quite a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Quite a lot, actually. He's probably, when he's most likely played up front more than he's played on the wing.
Fair enough. So I'm going to come back to you again, Julian. So what has been that outstanding thing that sets Jota apart from Aubameyang?
Right. I just want to say to that Nathan brother, the reason I'm calling Diogo Jota like he's a Brazilian is because Brazilians and Portuguese people speak the same language. If your head wasn't so hot, you would know that. But yeah. But yeah, the reason I'm picking Diogo Jota is because I felt like this season he's been more of a threat than Aubameyang. I feel like Aubameyang's played more games where he's gone more missing and than Jota has. Jota's more of a problem in terms of getting in behind, in my opinion. He's actually created quite a few chances for himself by his dribbling, got in behind defense as well. And we've seen it against Man United. Like, he's been quite consistent when he has played. You've got to remember as well, with his goal tally, he's been in and out of the team with Firmino. You know, they've been trading positions. And yeah, like with that impressive goal tally that he has, that's going to show he's not way more clinical, but he's been more clinical, as you've mentioned, with your goals per minute stat than Aubameyang this season. And yeah, man, just no denying, man, he's done his thing this season.
Babs, I think you're muted.
Yeah, big Babs.
Oh, sorry.
I was thinking, what?
My bad. I was saying I'm cool. So I'm going to come over to you regarding the Aubameyang. So what has been his outstanding attribute that really sets him apart?
Do you know what?
It could be a game. It could be stats. Like what is it that means that I should be picking him over Diogo Jota?
Do you know what? I think you know, Julian makes a good point. I think, you know, Jota, I can't even slight him. I think he's been good this season. You know, he's a clinical guy and he takes his chances well, takes his minutes well. So I'm gonna go to just the best performance of each player this season. I think Aubameyang he's hit higher heights personally this year, and I can point to several games. So I can look at the Tottenham game. I think Aubameyang was exceptional in that match. I don't think Jota has had a performance as good as Aubameyang in that Spurs game this season. So he was pressing all of their centre backs, winning aerial duels, pamming Davinson Sanchez into the mud. You see the flick for ESR assist back to him, that 1-2 that they played. It was all round centre forward play from him against Aston Villa. Again, he was exceptional. Got the assist for Smith Rowe with a similar flick there. And even when Aubameyang has had his poorer games, so we're looking at the Watford game recently, basically everything that he did, everything he touched, was almost like he was playing against us. But if you look at his action outside of those sort of end pieces, at the end of moves, I thought he was really, really good in the stadium. He was really inciting the crowd with his pressing, with his tackling. You look at it, the stats, he's got 3 yellow cards this season. Aubameyang, this is a guy who doesn't really like the physical battle, but he has been getting stuck in. He's been pressed from the front. He's been a real leader for me in this Arsenal team. And you're looking at the young squad. You're looking at it. Most games, every single player other than Lacazette and Aubameyang are under 24. You know, I think in the last game against Watford, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who just turned 24 this year, was the third youngest player. You know, and you're looking to these guys, and he's carrying these young men, leading by example. And I think that's what pushes him over the edge over Jota this season for me. And I think Jota's been good, but I think, you know, he's not really shown that leadership. He's not really shown that ability to carry Liverpool. Not that necessarily he has to, but I think that is enough to put Aubameyang over the edge.
Do you think it's fair to fault Jota for not being a leader in the team?
No, it's not. It's not really fair. It's not really fair because it's not necessarily, you know, it's not the same circumstances. But I think if you put Jota in the Arsenal team, I don't think he's showing the same leadership. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, he's not. Well, Aubameyang is your captain, and he's 31. I don't think that's really, you know, a good attribute to put on. Over.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I'm going to come over to you and Krish. Convince me. Why should I be picking Jota over Aubameyang to play as my number 9?
Well, 8 games up front for Liverpool this season. League Cup play again, fantastic. Shot creating actions again, fantastic. The way that this guy is lethal on goal is just something else, man. Aerial ability has it over Aubameyang. Striking ability, he's got it over Aubameyang. It's not even close for me, man. It's not even close. The guy can do it all. The guy can do it all. Relentless, ruthless.
Fair enough.
He's
And
just
there was
clinical.
the final point. The final
inevitable.
point before I made my decision. Shabs, take it away.
I don't think there's much more that I can say about Oba that hasn't already been said. Like you just have to look at the impact he's made. I mean, Babs, you said it yourself. You've been so impressed by Oba in the way that he's led the line and his off the ball work. That's been a criticism of this brother. It has. Like let's keep it a buck. That's been a proper criticism of him. This summer he went away. You saw him just working out, putting in the block work. You can see the efforts of it this season when he's come out, and it is about the impact that he's having on the team. It's about the positive impact that he's having. You know, we can talk about and give Arteta credit for the defense, how solid we've been defensively. I think a big part of that as well is how we've worked off the ball. So as well as the goals that he scored and the contributions that he's made to us at the top end of the pitch, is having a positive impact and the trickle-down effect as far as our defensive structure. So yeah, man, I think that man works hard, man. And I've been on to Oba. I'll be honest with you, that I'm on tape saying like this brother needs to come out with something different. I need to see more from him because like in these games where he's not scoring goals, he's not getting on the end of things, we're not creating chances, it's actually not been good enough. But actually, I've had to come out a couple of times so far this season, eat my words and say, you know what, actually, he's not scored today, but he still had an impact in the game. He still had a positive impact in the game. He's put himself about. He's been more of a presence. He's been more imposing, you know. And I believe he's going to dunk on VVD's head top on Saturday. So this is why, man. This is why, I'll be honest with you, I'm keeping it a buck. And then I shamelessness, we've had like a good, like we've been going at each other for 2 hours. And in some of these picks, we have been shameless and there has been agenda. I don't believe that there's credibility in their centre forward pick. I don't. I think it is agenda, and they're trying to push this Jota thing in there. And I really like Jota as a player, but nah, man, not over Aubameyang. Not for me.
Yeah,
I will say there has been a lot of agenda tonight, but I'm being honest. Jota being up front is not one of them. And I'm also my thoughts may be clouded on the fact that he's also performed in the Champions League as well, done quite well there.
See these Jedi mind tricks.
It's true though.
You know what?
True, man.
Do you know what? I think the thing is, I think if we're being fair, and this is just my final thing on this Aubameyang thing, is I think Jota in the box has been, you know, clinical. He's been very good, and I think Aubameyang as well. He's taken his chances this season. The very few that he's had, I think he's taken them. But for me, I think it's the stuff off the ball that gives Aubameyang the advantage this season. I think Jota, he's not giving you much wing play. He's not giving you much centre forward play outside of his goal scoring. So, you know, for me, I think this, and Shabs is right, this has been a criticism of Aubameyang. But when he actually starts doing it, and giving you this play outside the box, linking up, dropping in, being a target man. I think you have to give him credit for that, because that is something that we're not actually seeing from Jota. So that's what I think gives Aubameyang, and that's on top of, you know, sort of the leadership and all this stuff that I was talking about as well. But I think if we're looking at pure footballistic, that's my word, yeah, the footballistic attributes and what they're contributing to their teams, I think Aubameyang's giving him more.
I mean, if we're talking about pure number 9s, and this will be my last thing as well, guys have just admitted themselves. Jota's been a bit more clinical, been more ruthless within the box. That's the guy you want in those areas, putting the ball in the back of the net. Simple argument for me.
Yeah, true. That's a very good point. And
both on 4 goals, 1 assist, though. Both on 4 goals, 1 assist. That's what I'm saying. So
as I was saying, obviously, you know, with me having the deciding vote, before I get that vote, guys, Spotify, Touchline Fracas, give us a follow. Apple Podcasts, give us a follow. 5-star reviews. Give us these reviews. Share us with your friends. You need to put us out there, man. We're trying to do our thing. We're trying to give you guys this content. We give you content daily. Follow us, like us, leave us reviews, and share it with your friends. But yeah, most importantly, obviously, you know, you guys have made some excellent points there. You know, Kopend, Jota, and his just sheer clinical ability in and around the penalty area has been something that's been obviously behold the season. And obviously, you know, Touchy Gooners, you guys have made the point of Aubameyang. You know, his all-round play has been impressive. You know, we saw it against Spurs, we saw it against Leicester, we've seen it again also against Watford. You know, aside from the penalty miss. So yeah, I mean, it's quite a tough one. And obviously, with me having the deciding vote, I'm still unsure who to decide with. You know, I'm still unsure to decide with. And for now, if I'm to be honest with you, I would go Aubameyang. So, I mean, hey, look, the winners of today's fight card are going to have to be Touchy Gooners. Guys, you guys have done an amazing job today. Kopend, you guys tried. You know, Jota was a good option, but I think the leadership attributes, the all-round play, the fact that despite the all-round play, they're on the equal goals, for me, it's just got to be Aubameyang. So
let's just get this straight, yeah? You're giving them the win over Shabs having bars on a football podcast and Lacazette being 31 and actually being a captain. Is this what we do?
Get your bars up. Get your bars up. Again, guys, make sure you're following us on the socials. Make sure you're there subscribing to the YouTube. Make sure you're there in Discord. Come Saturday night. We will see you. Enjoy. Thanks for joining us. Remember, podcast comes out every single day. So yeah, peace.